Chapter 41, Showdown with Tessin, the Dynamo Badge. What? No way. Ash, you actually caught a Jigglypuff, Xiaogang shouted. When it came to the pink menace, Xiaogang was the most terrified of them all. Ever since he had helped that Jigglypuff recover its voice, it had wiped out Xiaogang's team countless times in Kanto. Xiaoyao tilted her head. Ash, how did you resist Jigglypuff's hypnosis? Ash hesitated, then admitted he'd awakened aura. The others stared in surprise. Nobody had expected Ash to become an aura user. He trusted them enough to tell them the truth, and they promised to keep his secret. Heading for Mobile City, Xiaozhi's group arrived without incident. After a quick stop at the Pokémon Center to have their teams checked, they made a beeline for the gym. Ash hadn't challenged a gym in a long time and was excited. When they reached the entrance, Ash pushed the huge door, and it crumpled inward with a theatrical crash. The others blinked, then laughed nervously. The gym's welcome was anything but ordinary. As they stepped onto the platform, a mechanism whirred to life and handles popped up on both sides. With a scream from the group, the entrance turned into a short roller coaster ride and dropped them into the arena. When the coaster pulled up at the station, Xiao Sheng pumped his fist. That was awesome! I didn't expect a free roller coaster with a gym challenge. Xiao Yao was white-faced. I'm never doing that again. Xiao Gang, trying to regain his composure, said, That's one way to make an entrance. It's not over yet, Ash said, looking up. A gate ahead opened, and a massive creature that looked like a giant tiger blocked the path. Ah, Raikou! Xiao Sheng gasped. A legendary Pokémon, impossible for a simple electric gym, Ash said, staring. It's a mechanical Raikou. The workmanship is incredible, though, just like the real thing. Everyone breathed easier, but the mechanical Raikou fired a blast of electricity down the hallway. Pikachu, use Thunderbolt and reflect it, Ash ordered. Pika-Chu! Pikachu met the attack. The yellow lightning dispersed and struck the mechanical Raikou, which exploded in a shower of sparks. A side door opened, and an old man with a white beard walked out, laughing, followed by a younger man wearing glasses. Ha! I'm delighted. This is wonderful. I didn't expect my Raikou robot number 2 to go down so easily. No compensation necessary, the old man crowed. Welcome to Zijing Daoguan, the young man announced. I'm Watari, the referee. The old man stepped forward and bowed. I'm Tessin, the gym leader. Xiaoyao's eyes widened. Zijing Daoguan. This is a gym, not an amusement park. Tessin clapped his hands with glee. It's been ages since I've had such spirited challengers. Wonderful, wonderful. A smiling child is like a thunderbolt, so full of energy. They were led to the battle arena. Watari laid down the rules, 3 Pokémon per side. When all of one side's Pokémon could no longer battle, the match would end. I'm using Thunderball, Magnemite, and Magneton. I've been with these 3 a long time, Tessin said confidently. I'll use Phanpy, Lairon, and Pikachu, Ash replied. I believe in my partners. Tessin laughed. Excellent. I like your spirit, Ash. Let's begin. Tessin sent out Magnemite. Ash chose Phanpy. Magnemite floated into the arena and immediately fired swift. Phanpy answered with Stomp. The 2 attacks collided. Magnemite followed with Confuse Ray, a purple haze aimed at Phanpy. Phanpy, dig to avoid it, then use Earth Power, Ash shouted. Phanpy burrowed into the ground and burst up beneath Magnemite, releasing a concentrated Earth Power. The attack hit hard, but Magnemite's sturdy ability kept it on its feet. Tessin ordered Flash Cannon next, a silver beam streaking toward Phanpy. Just then, Phanpy glowed with a blue-white light. It's evolving, Xiao Yao and Xiao Sheng cried. Phanpy expanded, tusks sprouting from its snout. Donphan stomped into place, and the Flash Cannon glanced off its thick armor with no visible damage. Ash grinned. Donphan, full-power earthquake. Donphan slammed its foot down. A massive tremor swallowed Magnemite before it could react. The machine was toppled and rendered unable to battle. Magnemite is unable to battle. Donphan wins, Watari called. Tessin smiled. Very impressive. Thunderball, you're up. Ash recalled Donphan. Lairon, I choose you. Lairon charged into the arena and opened with Metal Sound, a piercing frequency that lowered Thunderball's special defense. Tessin grinned. Thunderball, Thunderbolt. Lairon tightened its armor with Iron Defense and shrugged off the electricity. Then it gathered energy for Earth Power. Thunderball countered with a surprising trick, electromagnetic levitation. It generated powerful magnetism and floated into the air so ground-based moves would be ineffective. Electromagnetic levitation? Xiaoyao asked, puzzled. It's an electric move that makes the user levitate, Xiao Gang explained, makes it immune to ground attacks. Tessin launched a series of electro balls, hurling 3 charged spheres at Leiron in rapid succession. Ash barked, Leiron, charge straight through, heavy slam. Leiron surged forward, silver armor flashing. It smashed through the electro balls one by one and slammed into Thunderball. The impact sent Thunderball tumbling out of the arena. Thunderball is unable to battle. Leiron wins, Watari announced. Leiron panted, faint electric arcs dancing across its plate. Thunderball's static had clearly taken effect. Tessin replaced Thunderball with Magneton. Bring it on, he said. Ash sent out Pikachu, cheeks sparking. Magneton, lock on, Tessin ordered. A red targeting ring locked onto Pikachu. Ash acted fast. Pikachu, quick attack into Iron Tail. Pikachu zipped forward with incredible speed and slammed into Magneton, sending it careening back. Sturdy saved Magneton from being knocked out, but the lock-on was interrupted. Tessin's expression turned serious. Magneton, triple threat, full power! Pikachu, Thunderbolt, full power! Ash shouted. Magneton fired a barrage of 3 distinct electric beams. Pikachu unleashed a massive Thunderbolt that collided with them. The yellow current overwhelmed Magneton, leaving it motionless. Magneton is unable to battle. Pikachu wins, Watari declared. The winner is Ash of Pallet Town. Yay! Ash won. Xiaosheng and Xiaoyao cheered. Tessin approached Ash with a warm smile and extended a small badge. Well done, Ash. You've earned this. Take the Dynamo badge. Ash took the badge and held it up proudly. Great, I got the Dynamo badge, Pikachu squeaked happily. Ding, obtain Dynamo badge. Reward, 1,000 points. To be continued. Chapter 42, Abandoned Power Plant, Electric. After earning the Dynamo badge, Ash and Tessin stopped by the Pokémon Center to heal their team. Xiaoyao and Xiao Gang, having finished their own business at the gym, went off to shop in bustling Malvi City. There was so much to buy and so much to eat that they couldn't wait to leave the gym as soon as it was over. That left Ash and Xiaosheng on their own for a while. When the healing was finished, Ash rotated his party. He sent Donphan and Lairon back to rest and training and put Eevee back in storage for now. As he stepped out, Tessin clapped him on the shoulder. All set with your swaps, Ash? Yeah, all done, Mr. Tessin, Ash replied. Tessin grinned. How about a special training spot? There's an old abandoned power plant on a small island off Mobile. Lots of electric-type Pokémon there. I go there sometimes to train. Really? That sounds awesome. Ash's face lit up. Pikachu chirped happily in agreement. Tessin led them to the island and the rundown power plant. Inside, it truly felt like an electric-type world. Magnemite and Voltorb were everywhere. The magnetic field here is really strange, Ash said. Maybe it could even trigger a nose pass to evolve into Probopass. They toured the plant, seeing wave after wave of Magnemite and Voltorb until it almost became a blur. Pikachu, however, seemed to love the charged atmosphere. Just when Ash was starting to wish for variety, a pale green, puppy-like Pokémon bounded out from behind a rusted generator, an Electrike. Wow, Electrike! Xiaosheng exclaimed, delighted to see something other than Magnemite and Voltorb. Tessin beamed. There's a wild Electrike here. Ash took out some Pokepuffs and a few electric energy cubes and offered them the eager Electrike. The little Pokémon gobbled them up and immediately warmed to Ash. Electrike's speed and spark made it exactly the sort of Pokémon Ash liked. Electrike, want to have a capture battle? Ash asked. Electric barked and met Ash's challenge with sharp, eager eyes. Electric, gender male, type electric, ability, lightning rod, attracts electric-type moves, immune to electric moves, boosts its special attack when hit by one. Strength, superior late stage, moves, discharge, crunch, headbutt, thunderwave. Dynamax type electric. Go, Corphish! Ash called. Xiaosheng blinked. He's using a water type against an electric type? Ash grinned. You're still green. Watch how a few tricks can turn the tide. Electrike crackled blue arcs of electricity and lunged at Corphish. Ash barked orders. Corphish, swords dance! The little lobster spun its claws in a blur, cutting through the air and sharpening its power. Swords dance! Xiaosheng's eyes widened. You can do that to boost attack like that? Corphish, shell blade! Ash ordered. Water blades formed on Corphish's claws and slashed at Electrike. The electric puppy snapped back with a mouthful of sparks, Thunderfang. The two attacks collided in a flash. Electrike was struck down first and collapsed, fainted. Yosh! Pokeball, go! Ash tossed a ball, and it clicked closed. He'd caught Electrike. No sooner had they celebrated than a rumbling machine crashed onto the scene. We'll take all the electric Pokemon here, a triumphant voice called. Team Rocket had arrived, piloting a giant theft rig. There they are again, Xiaozhi pointed. Prepare for trouble, Jesse shouted, and make it double. James continued. Meowth was his usual snarky self. Corphish Crabhammer, Ash fired back immediately. Pikachu, Iron Tail. Go, Seviper, Poison Tail. Team Rocket retaliated. Cacnea, Pin Missile. Booms and clashes rocked the plant as Pokemon attacks lit up the dim interior. Suddenly, an old man, one of the locals protecting the plant, yelled and sent out Magneton. Magneton, Flash Cannon! The beam struck Team Rocket's machine and detonated it from the inside. The trio's contraption exploded in a shower of sparks. What's going on? Meowth squealed as the machine broke apart. Not enough budget, Jesse wailed. If it were full of electric attack power, it would have worked, but it wasn't. Meow! The fight devolved into a mess of electricity, bubbles, poison, and flying pins. Seviper, Poison Tail! Team Rocket tried to regain control. Pin Missile! Cacnea fired with all its might. Pikachu, Thunderbolt! Ash ordered, and Corphish countered with Bubble Beam. The combined blast sent Team Rocket rocketing into the sky once more. Looks nasty, they cried as they flew off. We'll get you next time. After the dust settled, everyone laughed at the ridiculousness of it all. Xiaoyao crouched beside Electrike, who sat contentedly on the floor. So cute, she sighed. You've caught so many Pokemon, Ash. I only have 2. You're just getting started, Ash said with a smile. Pokemon are partners. You'll learn to take care of them. That's true, Xiaoyao agreed. They took a moment to plan. First stop, Fallerbor Town for the Pokemon contest. After that, Lavaridge Town and the Lavaridge Gym. Ash, though, decided not to enter the Akiba conference this time. Ah, you won't enter? Xiaoyao pouted. Too bad, but then I'll definitely get the Akiba ribbon badge. They left Mauville City and set off through the forest again, training as they went. Ash drilled his Torchic every day. Xiaoyao's Torchic trained alongside it. Both Torchic learned Flame Charge, a useful move for them. Ash's Torchic also grew stronger, leveling up to a higher late stage of development. Just enough that Xiaoyao's Torchic felt competitive pressure. The junior was catching up. Ash's next priority was Jigglypuff. He wanted it to distinguish and master a refined version of Sing. After persistent effort and a 5,000-point request to the system, he finally succeeded. A little later, they came upon a watermelon field and met its grower, Natch. He challenged Ash to a double battle, his Slugma and Gravile against Ash's Torchic and Corphish. It was a tough match, but Ash and company pulled off the win. Grateful, Natch invited them to share fresh watermelon. As they rested, Team Rocket lurked nearby, scheming to steal the melons to impress Giovanni. Their plan, unsurprisingly, failed. Once again, Ash and friends sent them blasting into the sky. After saying goodbye to Natch and enjoying the sweet fruit, Ash and the group set off down the road again. To be continued. Chapter 43, 7 Nights Wishing Star, Millennium Comet. As Ash and the others made their way toward Fallerbor Town, they heard at the Pokemon Center that an amusement park nearby was holding a festival at the perfect spot to watch the Millennium Comet. Everyone was eager to join the fun, watch the comet, and celebrate. Ash, who already knew the story behind the comet, quietly changed his main team at the Pokemon Center. Ash's team, Pikachu, Tyranitar, Charizard, Pidgeot, Snorlax, Eevee, Jigglypuff. With a festival guidebook in hand from the Pokemon Center, Ash and the others hurried off toward the venue. That evening, they reached a hillside. Ah, which one is the Millennium Comet? Xiaoyao asked, staring up at the starry sky. You can only see the comet after tomorrow, Xiaosheng said flatly. What? We came all this way for nothing. Xiaoyao pouted. Xiaogang, where is the festival supposed to be? Xiaogang checked the guidebook carefully. We should be close, he said, but the place they found was a bare, open lot. There's nothing here, Xiaosheng exclaimed. Did we get tricked? Xiaoyao worried. It shouldn't be wrong, Xiaogang muttered, consulting the guide again. Ash tried to be practical. Maybe we're early. Why don't we eat and wait, or get some rest and come back tomorrow for the comet? They hadn't eaten all day, so Xiao Gang started a small fire and cooked dinner. After they ate, the group dozed off. Then, in the middle of the night, the distant rumble of engines woke them. Trucks rolled into the open space, and staff poured out, unloading roller coasters, Ferris wheels, and other rides. It was a mobile amusement park. The group raced forward, hearts pounding at the sight of the unfolding attractions. Then 2 more vehicles pulled up as the main act arrived. A purple-haired man in a white tailcoat stepped down carrying a box. He placed it on the ground, took out a red handkerchief, and flicked it into a black magic wand. Tapping the box, he opened it to produce several pink, elastic balls. A woman in a red dress holding 2 red fans appeared at the other vehicle and fanned the balls back, arranging them in position. 8 of the balls burst at prearranged spots, revealing rectangular panels that snapped together in a ring and extended upward. The roof inflated into a giant tent, the magician's stage. By the time the first ray of morning light hit the tent, the festival was fully set up and a crowd had gathered. Ash and his friends were among the first guests. They split up to enjoy the rides. Ash took Pikachu, Eevee, and Jigglypuff on every attraction they could, sampled snacks and ice cream, and had a wonderful time. For the grand finale, everyone gathered under the big tent to watch a magic show put on by the famed magician Butler. He tapped his top hat with his wand, and a swablu floated out like a puff of cotton. For his next trick, he set the hat on a table and produced a curlia, which he locked in a box and covered with a red cloth. Butler tapped his wand, its tip glowing with a little flame. He held the cloth to the fire, and pink smoke billowed out. When it cleared, curlia was gone, and in her place stood a beautiful woman in a red dress holding a purple crystal. The crowd applauded, thinking it was all part of the act. But Ash's instincts sharpened when the crystal flashed. He heard a distant voice in his head, calling, "Me! Hear the voice of the stars." Xiaosheng heard it too. Both of them froze. Xiaosheng's reaction was pure surprise, while Ash's was the stunned recognition that something uncanny was happening. Butler and his assistant, Dion, introduced themselves and prepared the next illusion. "Hear the voice of the stars? Who's talking?" Xiaosheng looked up, scanning the tent. He caught sight of the crystal in Dion's hand. The voice came again, clearer. "It's me, Jirachi." Xiaosheng flung his popcorn and, before Ash could stop him, scrambled onto the stage, interrupting the performance. "Little brother, what's wrong?" Dion asked, concerned. Pointing at the crystal, Xiaosheng blurted out, "I heard it! I really heard a voice." Butler glanced at Dion in an almost conspiratorial nod. Ash, who'd been watching with his aura subtly active, noticed the exchange. To calm the situation, and perhaps to gain the boy's trust, Butler invited Xiaosheng to assist with a trick. He put Xiaosheng into a stage box for dramatic effect. The box was opened a moment later, and Xiaosheng emerged unharmed, much to the relief of Xiao Yao and Xiao Gang, who'd been both worried and a little envious. As the applause died down, a mechanical arm suddenly reached out from offstage toward Pikachu on Ash's shoulder. "Pikachu, jump up! Iron Tail! Break it!" Ash shouted. Pikachu leapt, dodged the arm, and cracked it with an Iron Tail strike. Butler stared in astonishment. 2 clowns who'd been helping him descended in a hot air balloon, removed their disguises, and revealed themselves to be Team Rocket. "Since you asked so sincerely, this is how it is, meow," one of them called. "Sonansu," came the other taut voice. "No time to waste," Ash barked. Pikachu Thunderbolt, Eevee Swift, Jigglypuff Dazzling Gleam. Electricity, sparkling stars, and pink radiance slammed into the would-be saboteurs and sent Team Rocket flying. The crowd cheered as the balloon drifted away, the threat neutralized. After the commotion, Butler took the opportunity to talk to Ash and the group about the crystal. Jirachi is a Pokémon that wakes once every 1,000 years to fulfill wishes. It only appears during the Millennium Comet. The crystal is what Jirachi transformed into while it sleeps, he explained. When the comet appears, Jirachi will be active for 7 days. During that time, it will choose a pure-hearted young person to be its partner. "Fulfill wishes?" the group murmured, astonished. "It only wakes once in 1,000 years, and only for 7 days?" Xiao Yao said, touched by the idea. Xiaosheng's eyes widened. "Does that mean it chose me?" he asked, pointing at himself. "It needs a partner to awaken," Butler said, and without hesitation handed the purple crystal to Xiaosheng. So, Xiaosheng, you must be Jirachi's partner. Xiaosheng took the crystal, trembling with excitement. He couldn't believe he was holding a mythical Pokemon's form. Okay, I understand, he said, grinning. Butler smiled, satisfied. Step one of his plan, whatever it might be, had gone off without a hitch. Xiaoyao leaned forward, curiosity burning. Is there really a Pokemon inside? She asked, reaching for the crystal, but Xiaosheng pulled it back protectively and kept it close. Angry and jealous, Xiaoyao, baring her teeth, lunged after him. The two siblings began to chase each other around the tent amid laughter and teasing. To be continued. Chapter 44. Jirachi, the Wishmaker. The amusement park wasn't just about rides. Stalls selling souvenirs lined the paths, too. As night fell and more people arrived, the place grew even livelier, and the trinkets caught Xiaoyao's eye. This is so cute, she exclaimed at a booth, pointing to an ornament shaped like 7 linked stars. That's a Millennium Comet charm, the wish-fulfilling star, the vendor declared theatrically, aiming his spiel at bright-eyed customers like Xiaoyao. People call it the 7 Nights Wish Star. During the 7 nights the Millennium Comet is visible, quietly make a wish each night, fold it into a star, and by the end of the 7 nights, your wish will come true. If that charm could grant wishes, what would Jirachi's role be? Xiaoyao didn't hesitate. I'll take it, she said, handing over her money. The vendor, with a shred of conscience, hedged his claim as he wrapped it. No guarantees, of course, but good luck. Firework Pokemon bloomed across the night sky, Pikachu-shaped bursts, Torchic displays, and more. Xiaosheng, still clutching a purple crystal, pointed upward. Look, fireworks! Jirachi, isn't it beautiful? Late into the night, the park quieted and lights went out one by one. Ash and the others sat atop a megastone, waiting for the Millennium Comet. A gentle breeze scattered the clouds. A silver streak with a long tail traced across the heavens. That's the Millennium Comet, Xiaoyao cried. I need to make a wish. She hurriedly unfolded her charm, whispered a wish, and folded a paper star. Once every 1,000 years? We really lucked out, Ash said, as if his presence drew extraordinary events to them. At that moment, the purple crystal in Xiaosheng's hands began to glow. The star is calling me, he murmured. The voice was not just in his head. Xiaoyao tilted her head. Was that Jirachi? She asked. Telepathy, Ash said. That's Jirachi calling. It must be waking up. Far away in Farnese, a rock pulsed with green light. The beam raced toward Ash and the others, trailed by a shadowy figure. When the green light reached the purple crystal, the crystal flared, floated upward, and dozens of white lines traced through the glow, shifting and forming. When the light faded, the crystal had become a small, star-shaped mythical Pokemon with a wish tag on its head. Jirachi! Jirachi has awakened! Ash announced, already on edge as if a battle might follow. Type Steel Psychic, ability Serene Grace, chance of secondary effects doubled, strength superior, weakened, superior level. Jirachi floated down, its cloth-like skirt unfolding and trailing behind it. Xiaosheng sprang forward and scooped it into his arms. The Pokemon blinked awake, gazing around with wide, innocent eyes. It's Jirachi! It's so cute! Xiaoyao squealed. Everyone gathered around to introduce themselves. Dion arrived a moment later. After hearing what had happened, she ushered Ash and the others to her RV and hurried off to notify Butler. When Butler received the news, his eyes flashed with manic excitement, and Princess Diane felt a chill of unease. Xiaosheng couldn't contain his excitement. Jirachi, please grant my wish, he said, looking up with hopeful eyes. Wish? Jirachi seemed puzzled, but Xiaosheng made a simple, childlike request, an endless supply of snacks. The wish tag on Jirachi's head glowed, and to everyone's astonishment, bags of snacks began to appear out of thin air. The group was soon buried in a cascade of treats. Wait, Jirachi! Ash called out, stopping them. He grabbed a package and read the label. Look, these are park snacks. Jirachi teleported them from the stalls. We have to return them. Everyone froze. Xiaogang inspected the labels closely and confirmed Ash's suspicion. The sea of snacks vanished as Jirachi, innocent and blinking, teleported them back. Xiaosheng and Xiaoyao looked disappointed. The wish hadn't created anything truly new. Jirachi was a transporter, not a conjurer. Butler and Dion arrived breathless. Where is Jirachi? Butler asked anxiously. Here, Xiaosheng pointed. Jirachi chirped happily. After the explanation, Xiaogang suggested, Why don't we have Jirachi put everything back where it came from? Good idea, Xiaosheng said, and Jirachi obliged. The wish tag glowed again, and items returned to their original spots. I feel so sleepy now. Jirachi yawned and closed its eyes, drifting off into sleep in Xiaosheng's arms. Xiaosheng looked worried. Is it going to sleep for another 1,000 years? Butler shook his head. Not for 1,000 years. Only after 7 days of activity would it do that. This is just a temporary rest from using its power. Xiaosheng relaxed. Oh, that's a relief. The next morning, Xiao Gang, busy trying to win someone's favor, came looking for Ash and Xiao Yao to help Butler and Diane. They hadn't told him they'd gone to the park, and Xiao Yao fretted, "Do you think it was okay to leave without telling Xiao Gang?" Knowing Xiao Gang, Ash sighed. Then he stopped. Look. Xiao Yao followed his gaze and burst out laughing. Xiao Gang was dressed as a clown, handing out flyers. Thank goodness we left early, or we'd have been conscripted, she said, patting her chest in relief. Pikachu shook its head as if to say it couldn't imagine. Later, Jirachi was back to full energy, gym level, as Ash put it, and the group enjoyed the day while Xiao Gang handed out flyers in humble servitude. At dinner, they all felt the sting of his resentment. Xiao Gang's glower followed them, and they ate more quickly than usual. After Butler's magic show, they helped tidy up the props. Pushing a scaffold back toward the backstage area, Xiao Yao tripped over a loose board. Ah! Xiaosheng, quick, help, she cried. Xiaosheng dropped what he was holding and grabbed the scaffold with her. They strained together to steady it. Jirachi, feeling mischievous, snatched Xiaosheng's glasses and darted away. Xiaosheng let go and chased after it. Left alone, Xiao Yao couldn't hold the scaffold any longer. Ash arrived just in time and caught the falling structure. Phew, thanks, Ash, Xiao Yao exhaled in relief. No problem, Ash said, and then he heard a small voice. Here. Jirachi, give them back. Xiaosheng shouted as he chased and finally tackled the little Pokémon. Got you, he declared, putting his glasses back on and glaring down at Jirachi. Woo-woo, suddenly a loud smash. A mirror on the backstage wall shattered. Behind the broken glass, a Pokémon with pure white fur and a sickle-like horn on the right side of its head stepped into view. To be continued. Chapter 45, Jirachi, Wishmaker. Farnah, it's Absol, Xiaosheng cried out. Absol's scythe-like horn flashed as it unleashed a whirlwind blade. Xiaosheng hugged Jirachi and darted aside. Absol spat another whirlwind blade. Xiaosheng changed direction just in time. Go, Jigglypuff, you sing on Absol, Ash shouted as he sprinted over. Jigglypuff pulled out its microphone and began to sing. Suddenly, Absol went into a trance. The lullaby had hypnotized it. Jigglypuff beamed. Ash had been helping it hone its performance moves, and the strategy paid off. Absol, quasi-heavenly king. Butler saw Absol and whispered, the legends say that Pokémon only appears around disasters. How did it get here? The words hung in the air. Then Jirachi spoke, not aloud but in telepathy. Absol, you're here to take me home. Everyone froze. Absol was Jirachi's companion. It was clear they would have to talk to Absol once it woke. Late that night, while Xiao Yao and the others drifted off, Ash kept his eyes open. He suspected Butler would make a move and was waiting for him to reveal himself. Sure enough, Butler crept into their room. Just as he reached down toward Jirachi, beside Xiaosheng, a voice cut through the dark. Great magician, Butler, what are you doing? Pika. Ash and Pikachu were there, staring at Butler. The commotion woke the others, who looked on in confusion. Xiaosheng clutched Jirachi closer. No one steals a sleeping Pokémon in the night without ill intent. Butler paused, then laughed. Ha! I didn't expect you'd see through me. I didn't want to involve you, but since you're courting death, I won't be polite. And how did you know it would be me? Jirachi said Absol came to pick it up. Jirachi is from Farnese, and you found Jirachi's crystal. Ash didn't need to finish. The implication was clear. You've got a keen mind, Ash. Too bad you'll pay for it. Butler laughed again. Muttering to himself, he hissed, They'll see how powerful I am, those Team Magma members who look down on me. Team Magma? You're with Team Magma? Everyone tensed for battle. Butler flipped a Pokeball. Dusknoir, go! Use Psychic! Dusknoir, quasi-heavenly king, early stage. Dusknoir's eyes glowed red as it launched a psychic assault toward Ash and the others. Pikachu, Thunderbolt, Ash ordered. Lightning crackled from Pikachu, dispelling the red glow. Diane suddenly lunged and grabbed Butler. Butler, please stop. I won't stop now. I'm so close. Diane, believe me, it's one step away. Butler's eyes were wild. Please, Diane begged. I don't want you to do this. Butler shoved her aside and barked another command. Dusknoir, Shadow Ball! A dark purple sphere formed, but it was cut apart as Absol, fully awakened and glaring at Butler, struck with a furious whirlwind blade. Pikachu, Electro Ball. Pikachu condensed a golden Electro Ball on its tail and launched it, while Absol sent another whirlwind blade. The attacks converged between Butler and Dusknoir in a burst of smoke. Seeing the chance, Diane hurriedly gathered everyone. Everyone, follow me. Ash and the others hesitated only a moment before rushing out. Diane shepherded them into the car and drove off. In the vehicle, Jirachi spoke plainly. I want to go back. I want to go back to Farnese. Jirachi says it wants to go back to Farnese, Diane repeated, glancing at the boy who had been sleeping beside the Pokémon. Yes, everyone nodded. Diane then explained Butler's background. Butler used to be a scientist with ties to Team Magma. He wanted to revive Groudon. Groudon? Xiao Yao and the others exchanged puzzled looks. Ash answered openly this time. Groudon is a legendary ground-type Pokémon, said in myth to have created the land. It's extremely powerful. Team Magma's goal has always been to awaken it. The Team Magma we ran into before was probably searching for a way to awaken Groudon. Right. Butler failed his experiments and was cast out of Team Magma, Diane continued. Then he found Jirachi in Farnese. Xiaosheng, innocent and hopeful, asked, Does he want to make a wish with Jirachi? Diane shook her head. No, Butler's plan is to use Jirachi to harness the enormous energy of the Millennium Comet. To awaken Jirachi fully, he needs its companion, the boy. He used those touring magic shows as a cover, waiting for the boy to appear. Ash thought to himself that even with the comet's power, Butler could never match something like Groudon. Jirachi had massive potential, but didn't know how to use it. The group looked at Xiaosheng. They all knew he was Jirachi's companion, though they didn't know everything about how that connection worked. Miss Diane, how long will it take to get to Farnese? Ash asked. About 4 days by car, Diane replied after a moment's thought. Xiaosheng straightened, determination on his face. I should take Jirachi back to Farnese. It's my duty as its companion. Everyone agreed. The RV pressed on toward Farnese. The next day, Diane and Xiao Yao sat and talked as the landscape slid by. Diane told Xiao Yao quietly, Butler and I were childhood friends. He always loved inventing and surprising people. Xiao Yao looked worried. Do you think Butler can be stopped? Diane's expression hardened. Jirachi will enter its 1,000-year sleep again in 4 days. She rose and peered back through the window at the small, dreamy Pokémon. By then, his ambition will have to end. He'll have to be the Butler I knew. Time passed slowly. Each day that went by shortened the time left before Jirachi would fall back asleep. Xiaosheng found himself watching Jirachi constantly. Soon I won't be able to see Jirachi anymore, he whispered. Ash sat beside him. To a comet, 1,000 years may be an instant. To Jirachi, 1,000-year sleep might pass like a blink. But 7 days, or even a single moment, can be unforgettable. If you fill them with good memories, you'll always be together. Xiaosheng smiled through his worry. Yes, I understand. On the 6th day, after winding through a canyon, they pulled up at a cliff edge. Diane turned to the group. We're here. This is Farnese. They looked out and saw a breathtaking sight, countless towering stone pillars rising from a dense, verdant forest. The scene was spectacular, almost otherworldly. This is Farnese. It's like paradise, Ash said in awe. They hiked down a mountain path, passing habitats teeming with Pokémon, Swablu and Altaria drifting in the sky, Nuzleaf among the trees. The serenity of the place wrapped around them, giving everyone an unusual sense of peace. Jirachi hummed happily. I like it here. We like it here too, the group chorused, smiling. Pika. Pikachu's cheerful cry echoed the sentiment. To be continued. Chapter 46. Jirachi Wishmaker, the Earth Monster. That night, everyone watched the fleeting Millennium Comet together. Xiao Yao folded the 6th star of the Wish Star while facing the comet, and they all enjoyed the peaceful starry sky. The next morning, Jirachi had recovered its full power, but after today, it would fall into a 1,000-year slumber. Ash and the others rose early and headed into the depths of Farnese. The dense forest made it hard to find Jirachi's resting place, but then Ash felt a familiar presence. An Absol suddenly appeared and signaled for them to follow. With Absol leading, their travel became much smoother. They walked from dawn until dusk and finally reached a tall cliff. Pokémon lined both sides of the path as if to welcome Jirachi home. "Ah, look, it's Flygon!" Xiaozhi cried, pointing at the Pokémon perched on a giant rock. Xiao Yao scanned the scene, taking in the atmosphere. It looks like everyone's come to greet Jirachi. Absol led them into a deep, dark cave that opened into an outdoor grotto. "This is it, the place where Jirachi has always slept," Dion confirmed as she looked around. Absol looked up, gestured for them to look up as well, then darted into the darkness and left. Through the huge opening, they could clearly see the Millennium Comet shining in the night sky. "The stars are calling me," Jirachi murmured, and slowly began to float upward. "Jirachi!" Xiaoshang suddenly hugged the little Pokémon tightly. "I don't want to be separated from you." Jirachi blinked in surprise and looked at him. Xiaoshang broke down, letting all his sadness pour out. "We finally became friends, and now we have to part again. I don't want to." Everyone fell silent. This separation would be permanent, Jirachi's 1,000-year sleep. They were all very sad. "The stars are calling me," Jirachi repeated, but it couldn't refuse its duty. It floated into midair beneath the Millennium Comet. "The Eye of Truth is about to open," Diane called out. "The Eye of Truth?" everyone asked, puzzled. Diane explained, "When Jirachi draws energy from the Millennium Comet, the Eye of Truth opens." They watched as the black slit on Jirachi's belly slowly opened like an eye. During its 1,000-year slumber, Jirachi injects the energy it absorbs from the comet into the earth, Diane continued. "That's why Farniers has such abundant vegetation." It clicked for them all. The forest here was nurtured by Jirachi. Just as Jirachi's belly eye was about to absorb the comet's energy and send it into slumber, something changed. "Oh no! Pikachu, use Thunderbolt now!" Ash shouted. But it was too late. 4 steel pillars burst open from the surrounding stone and emitted purple beams, forming a protective energy barrier around the grotto and blocking Pikachu's attack. Jirachi was ripped from the air and pulled inside the shield. "Jirachi, damn it, it's a trap!" everyone shouted. A black curtain fell from the cave ceiling and the opening widened. Outside, a circular steel platform had been lowered, suspended by chains attached to the stone pillars. Standing on it, dressed in a tuxedo and holding a magic wand, was Butler. "Everyone, welcome to the grand magic show of the one and only great magician, Butler," he announced. Diane stared at him, shocked. "Butler, how did you find this place?" They all looked at Diane suspiciously. She was the only one who had known their location. But they soon dismissed the thought. She had been with them the whole time and nothing had seemed off. Ash shook his head. "He discovered Jirachi here and stole it. It makes sense he'd guessed this place. We were careless." Butler smiled, smug. "Exactly. To open Jirachi's heart, the most effective method was friendship. You were the perfect trap." "Butler, don't be so stubborn," Diane snapped. "For my experiment to succeed, you'll understand," Butler replied. He pressed a button and more purple rays shot out, forming a barrier that trapped Ash and the others. "Everyone, the climax is about to begin. Enjoy the spectacle." "Not a chance," Ash shouted. He released all his Pokémon. Xiao Gang and Xiao Yao did the same. Dozens of Pokémon attacked the protective shield, but it held. Butler had already placed Jirachi into a device designed to siphon comet energy. On the other side, he set down fragments of stone he had taken from Groudon. The Eye of Truth on Jirachi's belly opened, a shining beam connecting with the Millennium Comet. Butler cackled. "Team Magma, watch this. Groudon will be resurrected." Absol and Flygon charged in to help. With the combined effort of many Pokémon, the protective shield finally shattered. Ash leapt onto Charizard. Pikachu mounted Pidgeot. Xiaoshang insisted on riding Flygon. They surged onto the steel platform to stop Butler, but by the time they reached it, the Groudon pattern on the ground was almost complete. "Resurrect quickly, Groudon. Only your return will prove my theory," Butler shouted manically. "Jirachi!" Xiaoshang cried. Butler tossed a Pokeball and released a massive Salamence, its power stamped as quasi-heavenly king, mid-stage. "Humph, what a nuisance. Salamence, drive them off," he ordered. Pidgeot and Pikachu held Salamence back, while Charizard and Flygon tore into the device, trying to free Jirachi. Butler watched the last of the pattern form on the ground and laughed. It's too late. Jirachi, are you okay? Hang on, Xiaozhi whispered, holding it tight. The eye of truth on Jirachi's belly closed. Jirachi blinked awake and smiled. Xiaozhi, Ash. Jirachi, you're okay. Ash breathed in relief. They regrouped with Xiaogang, Xiaoyao, and Diane. Thank goodness. Everyone's safe, Xiaoyao said as she saw them return. But the pattern on the ground converged and something enormous began to take shape. A huge dinosaur-like creature formed, its body armored in red scales streaked with blue, crimson eyes blazing tyrannically. What? Is that Groudon? Butler froze. This wasn't what he'd expected. Is that Groudon? Xiaoyao asked, pointing. No, this isn't Groudon, Ash said, shaking his head. It's a monster that only looks like him, power without a soul. The creature moved, and the nearby trees began to wither instantly. Oh my god, the trees are dying, Xiaogang cried. That monster is absorbing the Earth's energy. We have to stop it, Ash said, grave. Absol tried to attack, but its moves had no effect. It was swallowed whole. The monster's tentacles lashed out, devouring Pokémon from the forest and growing stronger with each one it absorbed. They rushed to the cliff where Butler stood, stunned and staring at the monster. Diane pushed forward, furious. Butler, is this what you were so single-mindedly chasing? He could only shake his head, eyes glassy. No, this is not what I wanted to resurrect. The monster continued to flail its tentacles, and in doing so it accidentally struck the Team Rocket trio who had been watching, then swallowed them too. Butler's face crumpled. How could something like this come from Groudon? No, it shouldn't be like this. He stumbled backward, distraught. A tentacle shot toward him. Diane lunged forward without hesitation and pushed Butler out of the way, only to be caught by the tentacle herself. Diane! Butler cried, frantic, trying to pull her free. Diane smiled through her fear and with a frankness born from the moment's desperation, said, Butler, I truly and sincerely love you. Live well. Then she was swallowed. Diane! Butler screamed. Don't worry, Miss Diane will be fine so long as we stop this monster. Ash shouted, trying to steady him. If anyone could survive a gulp from that thing, it was the Team Rocket trio. Luck always finds them. More tentacles lashed out. Ash and the others mounted their flying Pokémon and dodged. Butler finally came to his senses. Red-eyed and desperate, he shouted, Ash, please, I must save Diane. To be continued. Chapter 47. Jirachi, Wishmaker. Ash's full power outbreak. Ash looked at the awakened child, so small and pitiful, and sighed. Everyone, give it everything you've got. He left Eevee and Jigglypuff with Xiaoyao and the others. Their power levels were too low for the front line. The monster's strength had already reached elite, and though it lacked intelligence, there was still a chance. If it kept absorbing energy, Champion would be within reach. Maybe even worse, time was slipping away. Ash took a deep breath and activated his universal ring. Next up, Pidgeot, Charizard, Tyranitar. He tossed 3 Mega Stones toward them. The Pokémon caught them instantly. Mega Evolution! With the help of the ring's keystone, they managed 3 simultaneous Mega Evolutions. Mega Charizard X, Mega Pidgeot, and Mega Tyranitar erupted into battle, lights flaring as they dove in. Ash, Electric's useless against ground, someone shouted. Switch Pikachu's type. Ash already had the Terra Orb ready. Pikachu, change type, Terra Stall-Eyes. Pikachu nodded solemnly. Crystalline light crawled across its body as the Terra energy enveloped it. Pikachu reappeared Terra-Stall-Eyed, glimmering and transformed. Xiaoyao's eyes sparkled. Everyone stared in surprise at the sight. Butler, Salamence, save Diane, someone cried. Ash, Butler, give us cover. Launch your strongest attack. That'll buy Jirachi a chance. Ash shouted, sensing the situation around Xiaozhi. Understood. Butler barked orders. Salamence, full power Hyper Beam. Flygon, the other guardian of Farnese, joined the fray, firing a massive dragon pulse. The ground monster roared and sent countless tentacles lashing at Ash and the others. Over the roar, Jirachi began its true eye chant again, singing, The stars are calling me. Jirachi. Xiaozhi whispered in surprise, but Jirachi didn't answer with words. It was obvious. It meant to call on its comet power to finish this ground threat. Ash, now, someone urged. Mega Charizard X, Outrage, go. Mega Pidgeot, Brave Bird, Super Tyranitar Dark Pulse, Pikachu, crystallize and explode. Ash ordered, activating the Z-Ring inside his universal ring, channeling Snorlax Z for a last massive strike. Snorlax, Z-move, Serious Slam. Snorlax, normally the weakest in the group, surged with Z-power into a devastating attack. Under that combined onslaught, Mega Charizard's Outrage, Pidgeot's Brave Bird, Tyranitar's Dark Pulse, Salamence's Hyper Beam, Flygon's Dragon Pulse, and Snorlax's Z-move, tentacles shattered and a path opened through the monster's defenses. Jirachi's light peaked, white and pure, bathing its small body in radiance. "I'm coming," it called. Ash nodded. "The rest is yours, Jirachi. Use Doom Desire." "Yes, my partners," Jirachi answered. It filled with the true aura of a divine being and burst into an incandescent beam, stabbing the sky. Doom Desire struck the ground monster like a celestial sword. The creature exploded and disintegrated into motes of light. Rays fell like meteor showers. Every Pokémon and person swallowed by the beast returned, blinking and alive. Butler ran to Diane, who tumbled free, and the two embraced as if never letting go. Around them, the allied Pokémon vocalized relief. Charizard, Pikachu, Pidgeot, Snorlax, Tyranitar, Eevee, Jigglypuff, everyone was safe. Eevee and Jigglypuff bounded over and dove into Ash's arms. Xiaoyao and the others rushed up, cheering. "We did it, Ash! That was amazing!" Xiaoyao gushed, eyes bright with admiration. Jirachi floated down, still glowing faintly. "Thank you, Jirachi." Xiaosheng hugged it. Jirachi beamed at them all. "I love you, Xiaosheng. I love everyone. You were so kind to me. I'll always be your friend." "We'll always be your friends, too," they answered. Jirachi drifted upward one last time. "Thank you, Ash. I'm going to sleep now. Let a little of my comet power help you on your way." It scattered bits of starlight down over the group. The comet's energy rippled through the team. Charizard rose to Quasi-Heavenly King, mid-stage. Tyranitar and Pidgeot advanced to Quasi-Heavenly King, initial stage. Snorlax reached Gym Leader, early stage. Jigglypuff advanced to Gym Leader, later stage. As for Pikachu and Eevee, a system chime rang. Ding, 7 Nights Wish Star Achievement unlocked. Comet power detected. Reward, partner power. Both Pokémon flashed with evolution light. "Are they evolving?" Xiaoyao cried. But when the light faded, Pikachu and Eevee hadn't changed forms. No Raichu, no Umbreon. Instead, their power had simply increased dramatically. Everyone blinked in confusion, then checked the system readouts. Partner, Pikachu. Strength, Quasi-Heavenly King, mid-stage. Moves, Glittering Thunderlight, Electroweb, Fly. Partner Eevee. Strength, Gym Leader, early stage. Moves, Zippy Zap, Nasty Plot, Last Resort. Notes, Glittering Thunderlight. The higher the friendship, the stronger the attack. Electroweb, priority attack that targets an opponent's vital points. Zippy Zap, the higher the friendship, the stronger the attack. Nasty Plot, attacks while creating a mysterious barrier that weakens physical attacks. Up in the sky, Jirachi asked softly, "Everyone, will you listen to my wish?" "Your wish?" Xiaosheng repeated, surprised. "I want to hear a song. I'm going to sleep soon," Jirachi said simply. Tears slipped from Xiaosheng's eyes. Together they sang a lullaby for the little comet guardian. Jirachi smiled, eyes half closed, wrapped its cloth around itself, and the faint white light dimmed into purple crystalline form. It sank into the earth to begin its 1,000-year slumber. Green halos spread across Farnese's soil as the land absorbed and returned Jirachi's gentle light, renewing itself for another millennium. "Good night, Jirachi," everyone whispered. Pikachu and Eevee chirped softly. Afterwards, Butler surrendered and cooperated fully with Officer Jenny to investigate Team Magma. Diane stayed behind, waiting for Butler's return so they could protect Farnese together. Ash and the others set off again. Ash remembered something mid-step. "Oh, Xiaoyao, your wish star." "I forgot last night," Xiaoyao exclaimed, then brightened. "Never mind. I'll make my own wish come true." They all laughed and moved on down the road, ready for the next adventure. To be continued. Chapter 48. Xiaoxia's Return. Ash, the Pokeball restriction for Eevee has been lifted. Also, hurry up and finish the league and come back. I need to observe this partner Pokemon properly, Professor Oak said, glancing with envy at the 2 small Pokemon perched on Ash's shoulders. Partner Pokemon were rare. Only Koharu's Eevee had been one in the original timeline. Since Eevee had become Ash's partner, Oak was willing to help lift the permission right away. The closer the bond between a trainer and a partner Pokemon, the faster the Pokemon grows after all. Ash's team: Pikachu, Eevee, Ralts, Mudkip, Torchic, Corphish, Tailo, Electric. "I'm so jealous. You can bring both Pikachu and Eevee, Ash?" Xiao Yao said from the side. Xiao Sheng rolled his eyes. Princess, you still have room. Why be jealous? Xiao Sheng. Ah, sorry, Princess. All right, that's enough. Xiao Xia should be arriving soon, right, Xiao Gang? Yes, any minute now. Let's go. As they walked, Xiao Yao asked, curious and a little nervous, what were Ash and Xiao Gang's old friends like? Ash and Xiao Gang glanced at each other, remembering those chaotic but happy days. Don't worry, they both said. Xiao Xia is very nice. Not long ago, Xiao Xia had sent word that she was coming to Huen and had asked to meet at a restaurant in the desert oasis. Now, they were on their way to meet her. They waited by the lake outside the restaurant. Pikachu was the first to notice a figure running toward them, and it pointed and chirped excitedly. Pika! A girl with orange hair tied in a side ponytail came running up, wearing a beige short-sleeved shirt and shorts and carrying a Togepi in her arms. She beamed at them. Everyone, long time no see. Pika! Pikachu answered. Togepi! Togepi chirped from her arms. Long time no see, Xiao Xia. Togepi! Ash called back. Eevee greeted shyly. Hello, Ash. Xiao Gang, how have you been? Xiao Xia asked. The three old friends fell into an easy conversation, catching up like no time had passed. Xiao Xia waved her free hand and said with a small laugh, the gym leader job's tiring. My princesses aren't here, so I'm holding things down solo. The older trio chatted animatedly. The new second-generation members, Xiao Yao and Xiao Sheng, felt a little left out at first and clung to the edge of the circle. Xiao Yao peeked around nervously. You're Xiao Yao, and you're Xiao Sheng, right? Nice to meet you both. Please take care of me, Xiao Xia said when she noticed them. I'm so glad to meet you. Xiao Yao rushed forward. Xiao Sheng gave a polite smile. Togepi in Xiao Xia's arms waved its little hands happily. Being here today is all thanks to Togepi, Xiao Xia said, handing an invitation to Ash. He read it aloud. Togepi Festival, recruiting Togepi trainers. He glanced toward the restaurant beside them. This is the venue? I called because you happened to be passing by, Ash. If it weren't for Togepi and me, you wouldn't even be able to get in, Xiao Xia said proudly, snatching the invitation back. They reached the restaurant door, expecting a crowd, but the place looked empty. Two strange men with large beards and coats patterned like cracked eggshells stepped out. Their eyes lit up when they saw Togepi. Welcome, honored guests, one said. We are from the Togepi Festival Executive Committee, responsible for escorting invited distinguished guests into the venue. Wow, what a cute Togepi, the other added. They moved to guide the group inside. Wait, Ash said suddenly from the side. I was wondering how anyone in Hoenn would know that Xiao Xia from Kanto has a Togepi? You too, Team Rocket? Everyone froze. The two men peeled off their disguises, revealing Musashi and Kojiro with their usual dramatic flourish. Team Rocket? Xiao Xia groaned, slapping a hand to her forehead. You've chased Pikachu all the way here? Long time no see, Musashi said with a sly grin. But today our target isn't Pikachu. Before anyone could react, a mechanical arm shot from inside the restaurant and snatched Togepi right out of Xiao Xia's arms. Togepi squealed. Togepi! Ha! Goodbye, everyone! Musashi and King Kojiro took Togepi and fled for the restaurant doors. They were gone in an instant, but the doors slammed shut behind them, and suddenly the restaurant's walls collapsed outward. A spaceship rose from where the building had been. Xiao Xia, look out! Ash shouted. Ralts, use teleport. Get us inside, Ash ordered. Ralts stepped forward and focused. In a shimmer of light, the Hope vanished from the lake and reappeared inside the dark interior of the ship. For a tense moment, they stood in the unfamiliar cabin, then breathed in relief. Thanks, Ralts, Xiao Xia said, smiling at the little psychic Pokémon. Ralts gave a small, reassuring cry. All right, Xiao Yao cried, cutting right into the moment. The Xiao Yao rescue team transforms into the rescue squad. Let's get Togepi back. The ship lifted off, carrying everyone out over the desert. From a small porthole, they could see a sandstorm forming. It's heading into a sandstorm, Xiao Gang warned. Everyone hold on. This could get rough, Ash said, grabbing a railing. The others clung tightly as the ship lurched and shook. Xiao Yao narrated the whole thing like she was on stage. What will become of the Xiao Yao rescue team? After a violent burst of turbulence, the ship punched through the sandstorm and flew toward the glimmering spires of the Kingdom of Mirage. The ship set down at the Mirage airstrip and the hatch opened. The Team Rocket trio clambered out, Togepi safely in hand, and then the rest of the group jumped down too. Team Rocket, stop, give Togepi back, Xiaoxia shouted. Satoshi, when did you get on the ship? Musashi demanded. Stowing away's not allowed. Before a fight could start, a tall man in a high hat and a short beard stepped forward. Lord Hanzo, Xiaogang said under his breath. Please accept this Togepi, Musashi said, thrusting the Pokémon forward. With us in charge, everything is secure. Hanzo took Togepi and sniffed coldly. The operation failed, he said flatly. I told you to bring Togepi and not the trainers. Realization swept across the group's faces. Hanzo, their unseen mastermind, had been pulling the strings. Ash, Xiaoxia, and the others stared at him, each understanding at once that this was much bigger than a petty Team Rocket theft. To be continued. Chapter 49, Miraizu Kingdom. I am Hanzo, regent of the Miraizu Kingdom. For certain reasons, I must have Togepi. Leave Togepi here and leave this place at once. Hanzo said slowly and haughtily. Give Togepi back to me now. Xiaoxia snapped. Then there's no other way. I'll make you leave. Hanzo snapped his fingers and a Pokémon flew out from behind him. Ah, it's Shedinja! Xiaosheng cried. The white halo above Shedinja's head had already begun to gather solar energy, preparing to fire a solar beam. Eevee, nasty plot, Pikachu, Electroweb, save Teppy, Ash ordered. Eevee, Pika. The two little companions on Ash's shoulder sprang into action. Pikachu flashed like lightning and shattered the cage trapping Togepi, freeing the little Pokémon. Eevee unleashed Nasty Plot and struck down the Shedinja that was still gathering solar energy. Everyone stared, stunned at how easily it went. Togepi was returned to Xiaoxia by Pikachu. That's great! Togepi, thank you so much, Pikachu! Xiaoxia exclaimed. Pika, Pikachu answered. You're amazing, Ash. You took out Shedinja in one move, Xiaoyao said admiringly. Not really, Ash shrugged. Shedinja's main trait is Wonder Guard. It's only affected by super effective moves. Once you hit it with the right kind of attack, it can't fight. Ash, you've grown stronger, Xiaoxia said, smiling and sighing. Xiaogang nodded in agreement beside her. Damn it, give me Togepi, go on! Hanzo barked. At that moment, two more Ninjask darted forward. Ah! Xiaoxia began to tremble. What's wrong, Xiaoxia? Xiaoyao asked, concerned. Xiaoxia is afraid of bugs, Xiaogang explained, as Xiaoxia nodded. Then let's finish them off in one go, Ash said confidently. Pikachu, Glittering Thunder Light, Eevee, Zippy Zap. The bond between Ash and Pikachu was at its peak, and Eevee wasn't far behind. The two Ninjask were instantly knocked out. Seeing the situation turn against them, Team Rocket had Seviper release Haze and fled. Hanzo angrily recalled Shedinja and the remaining Pokémon and retreated as well, while the haze still hung in the air. Ash and the others looked for the nearest exit and ended up in a garden where they met a beautiful girl in a blue dress and matching hat, with light red hair, accompanied by a retainer. Xiaogang immediately began making eyes at her, only to be held back by Xiaosheng. Poji Jiaoji, Poji Bu Li. Togepi cooed happily in Xiaoxia's arms. Seeing Togepi, the girl exclaimed, Ah, Togepi! My name is Sarah, and I am the princess of the Miraizu Kingdom, she said, lifting the hem of her dress in a polite curtsy. Everyone introduced themselves properly, though Xiaogang could barely contain himself. The group was taken to see the old king. After hearing their story, he said, I apologize for the trouble. The Regent Hanzo and I often clash over governance. He may have an ulterior motive for trying to use your Togepi. Sarah added earnestly, Please believe us. We never intended to take your Togepi. We wouldn't dream of it. The old king went on, Then please have these honored guests prepare to leave the Miraizu Kingdom. Ready a ship. Yes, your majesty. Ash and the others had followed Sarah to the palace entrance. Please wait a moment, Xiaoxia said. If you don't mind, could you tell us more about the situation? Our country has worshipped Togepi since ancient times, Sarah explained. We regard it as a guardian Pokémon of freedom and peace. In this kingdom, an heir must find a Togepi somewhere in the world and gain its recognition. Mission. Everyone reacted in surprise. So where is the king's Togepi now? Xiaogang asked. It has already returned to a faraway place, Sarah said. According to our legend, when Togepi is about to leave, the rightful heir is formally recognized. My father was recognized by Togepi and thus became king. Xiaoyao sighed. Togepi really is an amazing Pokémon. Originally, the succession ceremony was to be held at this temple tomorrow. The one who presented Togepi would receive the right of succession, Sarah continued. But I didn't find Togepi before the appointed day, so I wasn't eligible to inherit. So you mean bringing this Togepi here was for the ceremony? Xiaozhi asked, puzzled. Sarah shook her head. I think Hanzo intends to use your Togepi to claim the right of succession for himself. Seizing the moment, Xiaogang suddenly dropped to one knee and took Sarah's hand. Please don't worry, my princess. I will save you from this power struggle. Sarah was completely stunned. Xiaosheng was about to react when Xiaoxia stepped forward, slid her hand near Xiaogang's ear, and gave it a sharp twist. We already know. Come back here. Ah, it hurts, it hurts, Xiaogang yelped, recognizing the familiar squeeze. Xiaosheng looked at Xiaoxia with sparkling eyes, amazed and eager to learn her technique. Princess Sarah, if you don't mind, we can help, Ash offered. Sarah shook her head. I can't involve you in this danger. Please, leave the country as soon as you can. But if there's no Togepi, then the princess, Xiaoxia protested. Don't worry about me, Sarah said optimistically. There will be a way. She arranged for Ash and the others to head to the airport. Miss Xiaoxia, please leave quickly. Take Togepi and everyone, and go before Hanzo and his pursuers arrive. At that moment, a strange mirage shimmered in the sky. The blue heavens above the temple rippled like a mirror and reflected an image of the temple. Everyone stared in shock. Togepi suddenly emitted a pale blue glow and began to float toward the mirage. Sarah covered her mouth. Could it be that Togepi is sensing the paradise beyond the mirage? Shedinja then appeared again in front of Togepi, its halo gathering solar energy. Ah! Shedinja! Xiaoxia sprang up and hugged Togepi, narrowly avoiding a green energy beam from Shedinja. Hanzo and Team Rocket stepped forward into view. You can't escape, Hanzo declared. Hand over Togepi obediently, meow. You bad guys, I will never give Togepi to you, Xiaoxia shot back. Humph, stubborn. Shedinja, solar beam, Hanzo ordered, pointing at Ash and the others. I won't give you a chance. Pikachu, fly. Everyone blinked. Pikachu can fly? Pikachu! Pikachu launched into the air and slammed into Shedinja. With that hit, Shedinja lost the ability to battle. If you know Shedinja's weakness and use the right move, it's essentially helpless. Hanzo's face flushed with fury. Damn it! Ninjask Hyper Beam! The two Ninjask began to gather energy, forming two dark, purple-black beams. Eevee, protect! Ash cried. Eevee! A shimmering green barrier sprang up in front of Ash and the others, blocking the hyper beams. Just as Ash prepared to counterattack, a silver-white light shone from the mirage. It enveloped Ash and the others, and in an instant, teleported them into the Togepi paradise beyond the mirage. To be continued. Chapter 50. Togepi Paradise. Togetic. Is this Togepi Paradise? But why does it look like this? Xiao Yao stared at the withered plants around them. Xiaosheng reached out and touched a leaf. It turned to ash in his hand. It's said that the Togepi here grow through spiritual contact with people. You know what's happening in the Miraizu Kingdom. No wonder, Sarah said, voice low. Outside, Hanzo saw the people who had been blocking him vanish, and overjoyed, seized the opportunity to strike. At the same time, he scowled with envy at the Togepi's power, which could teleport so many people away at once. Inside the quiet of Togepi Paradise, Ash's Togepi looked sad. Then it sensed something and drifted toward a nearby hillside. Ah! Togepi, wait! Ash and the others rushed after it. When they reached the hillside, they were shocked. A cluster of Togepi lay on the parched grass, weak and listless. Xiaoxia's Togepi looked at its companions with concern. How could this happen? Everyone said sadly. Xiaoxia bristled. It must be that Hanzo. Sarah, holding a Togepi, nodded. If Hanzo is plotting, it could have affected this place. The Togepi are suffering because of him. Thunder flashed across the sky above Togepi Paradise. The normally obedient, optimistic Togepi suddenly looked angry and flew off in one direction. Ash and the others followed. The Togepi stopped in front of a blue mirror. In its reflective surface, the images of Hanzo and the Team Rocket trio showed them smashing mirrors outside, damage that was bleeding into Togepi Paradise. Damn them! They never stop! Xiaoxia clenched her fists. Togepi flew forward and passed through the mirror. Ash activated his aura and pulled Xiaogang and the others through with him. They emerged outside. We're out! Meow! This place really connects to somewhere else. Ash, they're out too. Sarah pointed at Hanzo. Hanzo, This isn't what the guardian Pokemon Togepi would want. Hanzo said nothing. He sent out Ninjask and Shedinja. Go, Torchic, Spark. Go, Electrike, Discharge. Torchic spat multiple sparks and struck one Ninjask. Electrike's electric blast took down another. In that moment, Torchic was bathed in a blue-white light and evolved, growing taller, sprouting arms. Combuskin had appeared. Xiaoyao pulled out her Pokedex and scanned it. Combuskin, initial stage, moves, double kick, flamethrower, feather dance. Unlike typical evolutions, many of Ash's Pokemon push themselves past their limits before breaking through. Excited, Xiaoyao commanded, Combuskin, flamethrower. Combuskin unleashed a blast of orange flames and sent the remaining Ninjask flying. That left Hanzo with only his Shedinja. Shedinja, solar beam, Hanzo cried. Shedinja began gathering sunlight and fired a green beam at Ash and the others, until a blue-green protective shield suddenly rose and blocked the attack. Is that Safeguard? Ash said. A wave of Togepi surged out from Togepi Paradise, floating in neat formation and waving their little hands. Several blue lights converged on Xiaoxia's Togepi. The little Pokemon glowed with a blue-white light as its eggshell vanished. Its neck lengthened and small wings appeared. Togepi had evolved into Togetic. Togepi evolved into Togetic, Ash announced. Togetic flew to Xiaoxia and nuzzled her, chittering. Jiaojig? Togetic, Xiaoxia beamed. Togetic flew back in front of the Togepi and glared at Hanzo. Humph, you evolved, but I won't let you interfere, Hanzo shouted. Shedinja, solar beam. Again, the solar beam struck the protective shield and failed. You can't win just by hiding behind a shield, Hanzo roared. Xiaoxia stepped forward. Then I'll take care of it myself. Go, my partner. From the water near her came the familiar, fearsome form, Gyarados. Hanzo sneered. You want to beat my Shedinja with a water type? How laughable. Gyarados, flamethrower. Xiaoxia called, taking Hanzo by surprise. Gyarados expelled a blast of orange flames. The fiery torrent struck Shedinja, which collapsed and could no longer battle. Hanzo's beard and eyebrows were singed. He was furious. Hanzo, this is the end of you. At that moment, the old king and queen arrived with guards. Arrest him, they ordered. Yes, the guards answered, and they seized Hanzo. Team Rocket took advantage of the distraction and slipped away, but the Togepi floated upward and returned to Togepi Paradise one by one. Togetic, say goodbye to everyone. Xiaoxia told her Togetic. Worried about her fragile charges, she had to leave too. Togetic hovered in front of Xiaoxia and peered toward the place the Togepi had vanished to, fretting. Jiaojigu, Jiaojigu. Is Togetic worried the Togepi might be in danger and wants to stay to protect them? Ash asked the Togepi with a smile. Don't worry, since Togepi Paradise connects to the Miraizu Kingdom, Sarah will look after it. Sarah nodded, resolute. Even if I can't inherit the throne, I'll keep protecting this paradise. Don't worry, leave it to me, Togetic. Reassured, Togetic relaxed and smiled, though it still hated parting with Xiaoxia. Ash grinned and said to Sarah, Princess Sarah, you already have the right to inherit the throne. Bojibuli. Sarah looked down and saw the Togepi at her feet tugging at her. She knelt and hugged it. Togepi, aren't you back in paradise? Jiaoji, Jiaoji, the Togepi replied with a happy chirp, snuggling into her arms. Looks like this is the Togepi you were searching for, Ash said with a smile. The Togepi happily rubbed against Sarah. That's wonderful, Princess Sarah. Everyone congratulated her. Sarah stood and thanked them. Thank you, everyone. Early the next morning, Ash and the others boarded the airship and left the Miraizu Kingdom, returning to the lake they'd come from. It was time for farewells. Xiaoxia took Togetic with her and prepared to return to Kanto. Well then, goodbye everyone. Take care, Xiaoxia called. Togetic answered, Jiaojigu. Goodbye. Say hello to your princesses for us, Ash called back. Pika, Eevee. Okay, everyone is welcome to visit Cerulean City when you have time. To be continued. Chapter 51, The Winning Streak Family, Swellow. After saying goodbye to Xiaoxia, Xiaozhi and his party set off for Falarbor town. The road took them across a blistering expanse of plain. The heat was oppressive. I'm dying of thirst. Do we have any water left? Xiaoyao moaned, swaying on her feet. Xiao Gang checked the water bottle and shook his head. Nothing, not a drop, and the next town's still miles away. Oh, Xiaoyao staggered. What are we going to do? I feel faint. Xiao Sheng and Xiao Gang weren't much better. Even Xiaozhi felt the pressure. After all, a water type's water gun isn't exactly drinking water. He sent out Mudkip and Corfish to blast everyone with water gun. It cooled them off enough to keep going for the moment. Just then a Camerupt lumbered over with a man by its side. "Hey, are you all right?" the man called out. Xiaozhi explained their situation briefly. "We ran out of water because of the heat." "Follow me," the man said warmly. "My house is just up ahead." Relief spread across the group. They followed him to his homestead, a small cleared plot with a vegetable garden carved out of the wilderness. The family who lived there, Haruhiko, his wife Yasue, their daughter Yuki, and Haruhiko's mother Mitsuyo, were cordial and welcoming. They fed and watered the tired travelers and treated their Pokemon kindly. Xiaosheng, however, seemed unusually fixated on a simple glass of water that Yuki handed him, turning beet red as he reached for it. Xiaogang glowered, ready to pounce if anyone got handsy. "You're headed to the Hoenn League tournament, aren't you?" Mitsuyo asked as they rested. "That's right, we plan to take part," Xiaozhi replied. "Good," Yasue said proudly. "Our eldest son Ryohei is traveling too. He's out there trying to become a Pokemon League champion. We practice battling a lot to cheer him on." "We certainly appreciate the hospitality," Xiaozhi smiled. Mitsuyo's eyes sparkled. "Then how about a battle? Around here people call us the Winning Streak family." Soon, the whole household was striking a pose and chanting, "We are the Winning Streak family." Xiaozhi and his friends exchanged surprised looks. They'd just eaten, though, and a friendly battle sounded like a decent way to repay the family. They agreed to a single match. Haruhiko organized the teams. He would lead off, Yasue would be second, Yuki third, and Mitsuyo would anchor the family team. "We're doing this for Ryohei," Mitsuyo said seriously. "We can't lose." Xiaozhi's side protested that Xiaosheng didn't even have his own Pokemon yet, but Xiaosheng locked eyes with Yuki and asked if he could borrow one for the match. Xiaozhi handed over Torchic's Pokeball. "Torchic's yours for this battle," he said. The family's little arena was tidy and well cared for. The first match was Haruhiko's Zigzagoon versus Xiaogang's Mudkip, with Mitsuyo officiating. Xiaogang, unfortunately, underestimated Zigzagoon's agility and Thunderbolt. Mudkip was taken down quickly. "Mudkip can't battle. Zigzagoon wins," Mitsuyo announced. "Well done. Ryohei will be proud of you." Unbeknownst to them, Ryohei wasn't far away. He had recently helped Team Rocket and, strangely, been getting some advice from them. At the moment, he was nearby, bringing Team Rocket home and watching quietly from behind a rock. The second match pitted Yasue's Roselia against Xiao Yao's Pokemon. Xiao Yao, remembering a previous defeat and fired up, switched out at the last moment and sent out Beautifly instead of Combuskin. Beautifully unleashed Hurricane and Silver Wind with overwhelming force. Roselia was forced to forfeit. Beautifully surged in confidence, as if a weight had been lifted. Next came Yuki's Marill against Xiaosheng's borrowed Torchic. Xiaosheng, who liked Yuki, tried not to give it his all, but Torchic had a different idea. It refused to take hits passively and kept charging ahead with Flame Charge. Its speed boost put in work. Torchic's speed rose and rose until Marill couldn't land a blow. In the end, Marill was beaten, and Torchic gained enough experience to level up. "Marill can't battle. Torchic wins," Mitsuyo called. Yuki clutched Marill, tears in her eyes. "Marill," she sobbed. "That was awful." Xiaosheng's face fell. His awkward, hopeful moment with Yuki had collapsed before it even started. He looked at her sheepishly while she scolded him. "How could you? You're mean. I hate you." Xiaozhi felt a mix of annoyance and pity. He'd given Xiaosheng the weakest Pokemon to avoid exactly this kind of embarrassment, yet Torchic's competitive streak won out anyway. Xiao Yao clicked her tongue. Xiaosheng would have to learn from this. Xiaogang offered to teach him how to get over a broken heart, much to Xiaosheng's dismay. The final match was Mitsuyo's Camerupt against Xiaozhi's lead Pokemon. Mitsuyo tied a white headband on for luck and sent out Camerupt. At that moment, hidden behind a rock, Ryohei watched intently, his presence giving the battle a quiet, emotional charge. "Tylo, wing attack!" Xiaozhi called. Tylo darted forward, repelling Camerupt with a swift wing attack. "Follow up with Steel Wing!" The metallic flap struck Camerupt and sent it tumbling. "Get up, Camerupt! Your effort is Ryohei's effort. He's out there working hard at it," Mitsuyo shouted, her voice shaking with feeling. Ryohei, listening from his hiding place, felt the words pierce him. Under the effect of Mitsuyo's encouragement, Camerupt rallied. But at that moment, Tylo was struck by a brilliant blue and white glow. It swelled, feather by feather, evolving into Swellow. Swellow's new power shone through instantly. "Brave bird," it cried, and a single, devastating strike collided with Camerupt. The Camerupt was sent flying and could not continue. "I lost," Mitsuyo admitted softly to Xiaozhi. "You're a formidable trainer. If you meet my son Ryohei, will you do me a favor?" "Of course," Xiaozhi said, noticing the movement behind the rock and meeting Ryohei's eyes for a moment. Mitsuyo smiled toward the hiding spot. "Ryohei is kind-hearted and doesn't like competing for the sake of it. But I want him to hear this. You only live once. If you discover something you truly want to do on your journey, give it your all. Pursue it with everything you've got. Our family will always support you." Ryohei was so moved he struggled to keep his composure. The words hit him deep. This was exactly the encouragement he needed. Xiaozhi and the others were touched as well. No one understands and supports you like family does, and Mitsuyo's few honest lines made that clear. Xiaozhi promised to pass the message along if he could. Soon after the match, Ryohei rejoined them with Team Rocket in tow. He and Xiaozhi exchanged a few encouraging words, and then Ryohei left again to continue chasing his dream, promising to return to share his success with his family someday. With warm farewells from the winning streak family, Xiaozhi and his companions set off once more toward Falarbor Town. To be continued. Chapter 52, New Partner Skitty. Xiaozhi's group, heading for Falarbor Town, had reached the outskirts and planned to rest for the night. But Xiaoyao didn't dare slack off. She started new special training for the Akiba conference. Since Combuskin had evolved so suddenly, she decided to have Beautifully sit this one out and let Combuskin take part. Xiaoyao had improved a lot with the frisbee, and feeling confident, she chatted with Ash and the others while practicing. She overestimated her strength and sent the frisbee flying much farther than intended. "Oh no, I threw it too far," Xiaoyao said, scratching her head and sticking out her tongue at the group. "Chamo." Combuskin puffed out his chest, eager to help. Now that he'd evolved, he was much more reliable. He trotted off to retrieve the frisbee and came back not only with the frisbee, but also with a small pink cat curled in his arms. "Great, thank you, Combuskin." Xiaoyao took the frisbee and pulled out her Pokédex to scan the kitty. "This Pokémon is Skitty," the Pokédex announced. Xiaoyao peered at the kitten. "Wow, so cute. I really want one. Hello, my name is Xiaoyao." "Meow," Skitty replied sleepily, rolling onto its side with no urgency at all. Combuskin held it gently while Xiaoyao stroked its fur. No matter how everyone tried to coax it, the little cat remained listless. "It must have played too hard and is exhausted," Ash guessed. "Leave it to me." Xiao Gang's eyes lit up, and he puffed his chest in confidence. He eagerly led Ash, Xiao Yao, and Xiao Sheng toward a nearby building, pointing out several grass-type Pokémon, Oddish, Weepinbell, along the way. They arrived at a charming greenhouse whose entrance was framed by an arch of flowers and vines. Inside, the place was lush with plants in every direction. "This is the greenhouse, the Yamako Research Institute's Pokémon Aromatherapy Center," Xiao Gang announced breathlessly. "Pokémon Aromatherapy?" Xiao Yao repeated. Xiao Gang explained, "It's a treatment using scents to help tired Pokémon recover. I read about it in a magazine." A woman with long blue hair appeared in the yard. "Can I help you?" she asked politely. Xiao Gang promptly went into full flirt mode. "Are you Miss Arisa, the aromatherapist? You're even more beautiful in person than you are in the magazine," Xiao Sheng groaned. He yanked Xiao Gang off before the conversation could go further, scolding him as he dragged him away. Xiao Yao explained the situation to Arisa. "This Skitty seems really listless. Could you help?" Arisa took the kitten, examined it, and nodded. "It does look exhausted, but it's nothing serious, just overplayed. I'll prepare a scent blend that should soothe it." She selected essential oils and mixed a gentle fragrance in a beaker, then spritzed it around Skitty. The aroma was pleasant enough that even Ash and the others inhaled deeply and felt relaxed. Arisa then gave them a tour of the institute while Xiao Yao stayed with Skitty. It was a small moment, but it showed how much Xiao Yao had matured. She didn't rush off. She stayed to watch over the new Pokémon. When Ash and the others returned, Skitty was asleep on a cushion. After a few moments, it woke with a cheerful meow and immediately seemed full of energy. It chased its own tail in dizzy circles, clearly back to its mischievous self. Seeing it completely recovered, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. "Skitty, I want to catch you." Xiaoyao knelt down and smiled. Skitty, recognizing her kindness, pranced into battle stance. Xiaoyao stepped outside the greenhouse and checked Skitty's data from the Pokédex. Skitty, female, normal type. Ability, attract. Strength, average for a later stage partner. Moves, tackle, fake out, assist, and more. "All right, go Combuskin, take the stage," Xiaoyao called. Combuskin charged forward and Skitty used tackle. Combuskin double kick. Combuskin struck the charging kitten twice, knocking it lightly to the ground. Xiaoyao immediately threw a Pokeball, and the ball enclosed Skitty with a flash. When it stopped shaking, the capture was complete. "Yes, new partner Skitty!" Xiaoyao leapt up, ecstatic. Meanwhile, Team Rocket's lazy daydreams of stealing the aromatherapy supplies and earning praise from Giovanni were abruptly interrupted. "I found you, Team Rocket!" Ash called out as he arrived on the scene, flanked by Pikachu and Eevee. "What? Satoshi? Why are you here?" Team Rocket blurted, aghast. "To keep the peace here," Ash said coolly. "You'd better leave." He commanded Pikachu, Thunderbolt, and ordered Eevee to unleash a brilliant, crystallizing attack. Caught off guard by the bolts and the flash, Team Rocket panicked and were launched away in their usual, fumbling fashion. "His power's stronger than before," one of them groaned as they flew away. "We can't take him on now. We need special training. Then we'll take Pikachu back." They resolved to get stronger before their next attempt and to make sure they still registered for the Akiba conference along the way. After that, Ash returned to join the group. Ash, where did you go just now?" Xiaoyao asked. "Nothing. Just took care of some troublemakers," he shrugged. They bought a few of Arisa's aroma blends for Pokémon and thanked her. After a brief reunion with a boy in shorts named Archie, the group continued on and arrived in Falarbor Town. Plenty of Pokémon coordinators had already gathered for the gorgeous competition. With only 3 days left until the Akiba conference, the first thing Ash and the others did was head straight to the Pokémon Center to register and sign up for the competition. To be continued. Chapter 53, Xiaoyao's First Ribbon. The Pokémon Center was crowded with coordinators preparing for the gorgeous contest, and Xiaoyao felt completely overwhelmed. There were so many beautiful older sisters among them that Brock nearly lost his composure. Only Xiaosheng's powerful ear-twisting discipline kept him in check. Ash had sent his newly evolved Swellow back to its Pokeball and brought out Beautifully, a shiny Beautifly he wanted to train. When he returned, he discovered an extra person had joined Xiaoyao's group, a coordinator named Grace. She'd been practicing confusion so intently with her Medicham that she accidentally took control of Xiaosheng's glasses for a moment. "Hello, I'm Ash from Pallet Town. These are my partners, Pikachu and Eevee." "Pika, Eevee, hi, please guide me, Ash. I've seen your battles. This time I'll beat you and win a ribbon," Grace said, sizing him up like a rival. Xiaoyao tried to protest, indicating that Ash wasn't actually competing. Ash laughed and shook his head. "I'm not competing this time. I'm here to support Xiaoyao." "Oh, really? That's too bad. Xiaoyao, you must do your best," Grace said encouragingly. "Would you like a practice match?" Ash offered. "Medicam and I will give it our all." "I'd love to," Grace agreed. Brock served as referee. Grace sent out her Medicam first, a strong, late-stage Medicam practiced in coordination moves. Ash sent out Electrike, a small green lightning hound. Medicam, Ice Punch. Medicam floated, adopting a meditative pose as icy blue fists formed and scattered frost and crystals. Every move looked stage-perfect. Electrike, Charge, then Thunderfang, Ash ordered. Electrike bristled with arcs of blue electricity and dashed forward, a crackling electric fang forming in its mouth. The two attacks collided and neither side gave way. "Is that a combination move?" Xiaoyao watched, fascinated. Combination techniques were a whole new world. Medicham, Confusion, Grace called, washing the field in blue psychic energy. Electric, Protect, then Thunderbolt. A protective shield popped up in front of Electric, blocking the confusion, and then it unleashed a Thunderbolt that knocked Medicam down. "Get up, Medicham!" Grace shouted. Electric followed with Wild Charge, charging with electricity crackling around it and slamming into Medicham. Medicham fainted. Grace recalled it, looking disappointed and helpless. Good job, Electrike, Ash praised. You're strong, Ash. I won't lose to you next time, Grace said. Then she left to rest at the Pokémon Center. After the match, Ash stayed to help Xiaoyao train beautifully on combination moves for the Akiba ribbon. Xiaoshun tried to help as well, but Xiaoyao didn't notice his contributions at first, and the two had a big argument. Over several days, though, with Ash's patient coaching, they finally managed to master the combos. Ash also prepared a trump card move for Beautifly against Medicham. Whether it would work in competition would depend on luck. The Akiba contest officially opened. Many contestants were competing, but only 4 would advance to the gorgeous 5 minutes. As expected, Xiaoshun scored a high 29.6 with Roselia's Petal Dance. Grace scored 29.5 with Medicam's high jump kick. Both looked very likely to advance. Xiaoyao performed her usual routine. She made no mistakes, but the judges scored at 25.9, just above the passing line. Jessie also competed and by cheating, received the highest preliminary score, 29.7. Ash shook his head. If Jessie had performed honestly, she would have passed on talent alone. With the last contestant scoring 25.8, the final slot went to Xiaoyao. Seeing the other competitors' scores, she felt overwhelmed. She'd made it into the top tier. In the next round, Xiaoyao faced Jessie. During the match, Xiaoyao managed to knock a device from Dustox's neck, exposing Jessie's cheating to everyone. The crowd booed, and with Ash looming nearby, Jessie retreated, vowing to get stronger and take revenge later. Xiaoshun's match against Grace came next. He tried to gamble on Solar Beam, but Grace used Medicam's Ice Punch to create icy blocks on the field. Light reflected off the ice in an unfortunate angle, and Roselia was hit instead. Xiaoshun was eliminated, a lesson in how knowledge and battlefield awareness can change the outcome. The final battle was Xiaoyao versus Grace. On the stage, Xiaoyao sent out Beautifly. At first, Beautifly had been tangled and briefly immobilized by its own string shot, but Xiaoyao rallied it. Medicham, start with your yoga pose. Finish with high jump kick, Grace ordered. Medicham leapt into the air, moved gracefully, and launched itself toward Beautifly with a powerful kick. Beautifully dodged heroically. Medicham crashed and hurt its knee. Xiaoyao seized the opening. She called a silver wind that knocked Medicham back, and then set up a combination move. Tackle followed by string shot, forming a white silk twister underneath Beautifully's spinning flight. It left Medicham's confusion useless and controlled the battlefield. Then, combining Silver Wind and Tackle, Beautifully split Silver Wind into 2 delicate, controlling gusts. Medicham, just freed, was caught and sent flying again. Grace didn't give up. Medicham, high jump kick, make a comeback. Beautifully, use everything we trained. Full power aerial ace, Xiaoyao shouted. Beautifly put all its strength into aerial ace. The attack struck Medicham with precision and sent it crashing into the arena wall. At that moment, the gorgeous 5 minutes ended. When the scores were tallied, Xiaoyao won the Akiba contest. She stood stunned for a moment, then hugged Beautifully tightly. I won. I really won. Thank you so much, Beautifully. Xiaoyao received her first ribbon, the Akiba ribbon. Xiaosheng cheered. Big sister won. Ash and Brock exchanged proud, relieved looks. Xiaoyao had come so far from the confused newbie who had arrived at the Pokémon Center. After farewells to Xiaoshun and Grace, Xiaoyao's group set off again, heading toward Lavarage Town. To be continued. Chapter 54, Skitty's Cat Hand. As the winner of the Akiba Conference, Xiaoyao couldn't stop bouncing around, constantly wiping her ribbon badge clean. Ash and the others smiled helplessly and shook their heads. For Xiaoyao, winning a ribbon in only her second gorgeous competition confirmed her talent. She'd already surpassed most coordinators. Ash, thank you, Xiaoyao said solemnly. If it weren't for Ash, she wouldn't have improved so quickly. Ash smiled. You did the work. Keep it up. There are still 4 ribbon badges left. Yes, Xiaoyao cheered. They were now heading for Lavarage Town. Fallerbor and Lavarage were close, separated only by Mount Chimney, and the group was about to cross the fiery path at the mountain's base. Of course, the journey wouldn't be entirely smooth. Xiaoyao's energetic Skitty suddenly darted forward and tackled a Slugma, which drew a small group of Slugma after them. Ash saw a cluster of wild Slugma and grinned. Perfect for training. Torchic, Mudkip, Ralts. The 3 Pokémon took the field. Torchic charged in like a little warrior with a flame charge, cutting through the slugma. Mudkip hung back and hammered them with water gun, while Ralts supported with confusion and disarming voice, occasionally finishing weakened opponents with mystical fire. Wow, amazing! As expected of Ash's Pokémon, Xiaoyao admired. She sent out her Combuskin to handle any higher-level foes. With Torchic, Mudkip, and Ralts escorting them, the group made it through the fiery path and emerged from a cave as dusk fell. They prepared to camp outside the entrance, on a grassy stretch near a fruit tree. Under the tree lay a dozing Numel, until Xiaoyao's Skitty, being Skitty, went over and gave it 2 playful slaps. Numel, slow and sleepy, hadn't reacted at first. When it woke, it wasn't angry at Skitty. It was simply hungry and got up to eat from the fruit tree. Ash's group watched, impressed by the Numel's peaceful behavior. Then a furret slipped out beside Numel, and a pleasant voice called, "Dong Dong." They looked up to see a pretty girl wearing a bandana approaching with 3 Numel. "Oh, Dong Dong, you're here! I've been looking for you," she cried. After checking that her Numel were all right, the girl noticed the group. "You don't look like you're from around here." "Hello, I'm Xiaozhi. I run a ranch nearby with my Numel." Introductions followed. Xiaogang immediately rushed forward, eyes shining. "Miss Xiaozhi, hello, I'm Xiaogang. Please, if you don't mind, raise me the way you raise Numel." Xiaozhi blinked in surprise. Before Xiaogang could do anything else, however, Numel mistook his reaching for a grab at its food and blew a hot puff from its hump, sending Xiaogang yelping backwards. Xiaozhi quickly calmed the Numel and soothed her fluff-tail furret, then invited Ash and the others to spend the night at her ranch. Xiaogang, delighted, threw himself into making a sumptuous dinner to show his gratitude. The next day, Xiaogang pitched in to help Xiaozhi run the ranch. He even recruited volunteers to help with chores, bringing along Xiao Sheng, who was eager to try grooming a Numel. Meanwhile, Xiaoyao pulled Ash aside. "My Skitty really likes battling," she said. "I want to give it more chances to compete." "No problem," Ash agreed. "Pikachu! Eevee!" After entrusting the ranch duties to Xiaogang and Xiao Sheng for a while, Xiaozhi strolled over with her furret. "Why don't you battle me?" she suggested. "I haven't had a match in a while. I'm worried I've gotten rusty." Xiaoyao thought for a moment and then accepted. They moved to an open area, with Ash acting as referee. It was a friendly match, Skitty versus Furret. "Okay, Skitty, watch your opponent carefully," and Xiaoyao began, but Skitty ignored her and charged straight at Furret. "Furret, tackle!" Xiaozhi called. Furret darted forward, but as the two closed in, Furret suddenly spun, and Skitty got distracted chasing its broad, swishing tail. "Furret, stop!" Xiaozhi called. Furret slammed on the brakes. Skitty, still fixated, collided with Furret's tail and was knocked away. When Skitty recovered and actually listened, Furret made light work of its tackles and double slaps, dodging easily and answering with a firm pound that sent Skitty flying again. Xiaoyao's anxiety rose. Then Xiaozhi suggested something that made Xiaoyao check Skitty's Pokédex. One of Skitty's moves was Assist. "Skitty, use Assist!" Xiaoyao ordered. Skitty's tiny claws glowed white, and it sent out a small burst of spark toward Furret, but Furret dodged. "Skitty, Encore, use Assist again." Skitty's claws shimmered once more, sending out a sweep of silver wind. Furret leapt aside and countered with a pound that knocked Skitty out of the bout. "Okay, the battle's over," Ash called. The level difference was too great, continuing would do more harm than good. Xiaoyao picked up her Skitty. "Are you all right?" "It'll be fine after some rest," Ash said, checking over the cat-like Pokémon. "By the way, Ash, what exactly does Assist do? It used Spark and Silver Wind. How is that possible?" Xiaoyao asked, fascinated. "The Assist move can randomly use a move known by a Pokémon that hasn't been sent into the battle," Ash explained. "Which move Assist produces is entirely down to luck." Xiaoyao's eyes lit up. "Wow, Assist is really interesting." At that moment, Skitty stirred and purred. Xiaozhi brought out some energy cubes for Pikachu and the others. In conversation, it turned out Xiaozhi had entered a few gorgeous competitions herself. "Xiaoyao, your Skitty has good potential," Xiaozhi said. "Its speed and move sharpness are solid. With some training, it'll do well in both battles and gorgeous competitions." "Really? Thank you, Miss Xiaozhi." Xiaoyao beamed at the praise from an experienced rival. The next morning, Xiaozhi pointed out the route to Lavarage. They said their goodbyes and set off. dragging a reluctant Xiaogang who didn't want to leave the ranch behind. To be continued. Chapter 55, The Operation at Mount Chimney. Mount Chimney is a dormant volcano in northern Hoenn, famous for its magnificent scenery. Since they were already there, Xiaozhi's group naturally took the cable car up to enjoy the view. They arrived just in time before the car departed. So tired, Xiao Yao and Xiao Sheng panted as they sat down. Even Xiao Gang was breathless. Catching the cable car had been urgent. Xiaozhi, after his aura transformation and the super true new human physique, didn't seem to share their exhaustion. He only shook his head with a helpless smile. What a view! It's so refreshing. Xiao Yao pressed her face to the window, and her fatigue vanished as she admired the landscape below. They were playing with their Pokémon when Pikachu suddenly perked up. Pika! It looked to the right. The group followed its gaze and saw a red helicopter pass by. Eevee yipped and pointed to the left. A blue helicopter flew that way. Xiaozhi frowned. Had Team Magma and Team Aqua started causing trouble again? At the summit, an older man with a detector had been searching for the meteorite found a few days before. He located it, but was intercepted by Team Magma. Team Aqua, meanwhile, had seized the control room, and the cable car's operator had stopped it. The car hung suspended in the air. Ah! Why did it stop? It's so scary! Xiao Yao and her younger brother panicked, looking to Xiaozhi for guidance. It's probably Team Magma or Team Aqua. I'll check the control room. Stay here. Xiaozhi stood up. Wait. Xiao Gang began, but Xiaozhi was already opening a small cabinet under the bench. Inside was a first aid rope with an iron hook. Without hesitation, Xiaozhi climbed out through the roof skylight with Pikachu and Eevee. Be careful, it's so high, Xiao Yao called. Xiaozhi gave an okay sign, looped and swung the rope a few times, and threw the hook so it caught an iron tower. He tied it off to the tower and secured the other end to the cable car. I'll go over first. You wait inside. I'll find someone to rescue you, he shouted, then climbed along the rope toward the tower with Pikachu and Eevee following. Be careful, the others shouted. After they reached the tower, they descended to the ground and ran toward the summit, where they collided with an older man clutching a rock, running down the slope. Ah! Stop! I can't stop! The man panted. Xiaozhi grabbed his arm and steadied him. You're safe now. Phew, thank you. That was close, the man said nervously. Oh no, those ruffians are after me. Run! 3 people in red ran down the slope behind them. The man dragged Xiaozhi behind a boulder for cover. It's Team Magma. You know them? The man asked, surprised. Xiaozhi nodded. Yes, they're criminals who use Pokémon to do bad things. I'm Xiaozhi. Hello, I'm Dr. Sonansu. I study meteorites. He held out the rock. This is what they want. I found it near the volcano top. I can't let it fall into the wrong hands. Is that the meteorite? Xiao Sheng asked, peering at the rock. Dr. Sonansu confirmed it and explained how Team Magma had suddenly appeared and tried to steal it. A Golbat swooped in for a sneak attack, aiming for the meteorite. Pikachu, Thunderbolt! Pikachu released a golden bolt of electricity that stunned the Golbat. Hand over the meteorite now, or we won't spare you, one of the Team Magma grunts shouted. Huoken and more of his crew arrived, and when they saw Xiaozhi, they stepped forward menacingly. It's you again, kid. You dare interfere with Team Magma? Take him down, he ordered, releasing a Mightyena. The others sent out more Mightyena and Golbat. All right, let's go, Xiaozhi called. Out. Torchic, Ralts, Mudkip, Corphish, Electrike, beautifully. Battle erupted. Pikachu took on Huoken's Mightyena while the other Pokémon handled the grunt's minions. Pikachu was quick. After stunning the Golbat, it launched an Electro Ball that knocked out the Mightyena instantly. How is that possible? You've gotten so much stronger, Huoken exclaimed in horror. Pikachu had improved a great deal since they last met. The rest of Xiaozhi's Pokémon soon dispatched the remaining Team Magma lackeys. Ralts and Mudkip even leveled up during the scuffle. Seeing no way to win, Huoken cursed and ordered a retreat. Damn it, fall back, kid, I won't let this go next time. Yes, the Team Magma members fled. Xiaozhi watched them go. If you're that brave, don't run away, he muttered. He then gathered his Pokémon. Good work, everyone. Come back and rest. Dr. Sonansu came over, grateful. Thank you so much, Xiaozhi. You're amazing. Oh, it's nothing. Xiaozhi rubbed the back of his head, a little embarrassed by the praise. Then he remembered, right, the others are still stuck in the cable car. Come with me. I'll take you to the control room, Dr. Sonansu said. Unseen by them, Team Aqua, hidden behind rocks in the crater, had been watching. When they saw Xiaoji's strength, Izumi ordered a retreat. Xiaoji and Dr. Sonansu reached the cable car control room and freed the operator. They got the system running again, and the car resumed its journey. Xiao Gang and the others were safely rescued. Yay! You saved us! I knew you'd do it, Xiaoji! Xiao Yao cheered. Xiao Gang frowned at the meteorite. What was Team Magma doing with this? It doesn't look like anything to do with Groudon. Who knows? Xiaoji shrugged. Xiao Sheng examined the meteorite more closely. Dr. Sonansu thanked them again before pointing them toward a trail. From here you can reach Lavarage Town. Xiaoji, I'm sure you'll win the gym badge. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, they echoed. That evening, after leaving Mount Chimney behind, Xiaoji's group arrived in Lavarage Town. Xiaoji looked forward eagerly to the upcoming gym battle. To be continued. Chapter 56. The New Gym Leader. Asha Lavarage Town, tucked at the foot of Mount Coronet, was just like Cinnabar Island in Kanto, full of steaming hot springs and sand baths. Ash and the others checked into the Pokémon Center and spent a relaxing evening soaking in the springs before turning in for the night. The next morning after breakfast, they set off to challenge the Lavarage Gym. On the way, Xiao Yao handed around some hot spring buns she had bought earlier. They're delicious, she said, cheeks puffed with pastry. Pikachu chirped, Pika, and Eevee gave a soft Eevee. Ash took a bite. The sweet red bean filling really is good. Right? Hot spring buns are the best. Xiao Yao beamed. When they reached the gym, the door was shut. Excuse me, is anyone here? Xiao Gang called. Suddenly, a red-haired girl burst out of the courtyard, flames licking the hem of her coat. Even her steps left sparks in the air. So hot, she muttered, fanning herself. Everyone stared. This was definitely a fire-type gym. Ash rolled his eyes but stepped forward. Come out, Mudkip, water gun. Mudkip leapt up and doused the flames with a jet of water. The girl sighed in relief. Phew, thanks. Xiao Gang's eyes practically turned to hearts as he rushed forward. You're beautiful. Your flames have ignited this little heart. Let's start a burning romance. Xiao Sheng yanked him aside by the sleeve. Cool it. Go flirt somewhere else. Xiao Yao pointed at the charred coat. Wait, how did your clothes catch fire? The girl scratched her head, embarrassed. I was doing special training with Mag and Mega. Two Slugma slid up beside her. She crouched to stroke them. Those two are named Mag and Mega. I was helping them train to evolve, and they accidentally sprayed flamethrower at me. By the way, why are you here? Ash explained. I'm Ash from Pallet Town. We're here to challenge the gym. A challenger. Finally. The girl's face lit up. I'm Asha. Hi. She practically pushed her hand into Ash's, which made Xiao Gang gape, ready to wrestle Ash away for a hello. Everyone introduced themselves as well. Asha's enthusiasm never cooled. I've been waiting for someone to challenge me. I'm burning up for a fight. Xiao Gang hesitated. Isn't the Lavarage gym leader supposed to be some old man? Old man Mula? Asha blinked. Oh, he's my grandpa. He left to travel a few days ago, said he'd gone back to his hometown in the Chengdu region, all because he fell in love with one of Professor Oak's haikus. He only handed the gym to me 3 days ago. It turned out Asha was a rookie gym leader, very new. She hadn't repaired the battered battlefield yet, and she didn't even know where the heat badge was kept. As they searched, an odd old man in beachwear and with an afro strolled in, looking for the restroom. He disappeared into the washroom and came out carrying a small safe he'd taken from a shelf. Everyone froze. He handled the place like he'd lived there. Ash stepped forward, certain. You must be Old Man Mula. Asha's mouth fell open. Grandpa! She rushed over. Seeing her, the old man could no longer hide his identity. He chuckled and dropped his disguise. Sai, it's me, all right, Old Man Mula admitted. He looked at Ash and smiled. Young man, nice eye. You noticed him quick. With Mula's help, they fixed up the battleground. They shared a hot spring and sand bath at Asha's house at noon, and in the afternoon, the gym match officially began. Old Man Mula took the referee's place and announced, This is the gym challenge between rookie gym leader Asha and Ash of Pallet Town. Begin. Asha protested. Grandpa, you don't have to call me rookie. Mula shot back, stern. Asha, I'm the referee now. No calling me Grandpa. He laid down the rules, 3 Pokemon per trainer, and only the challenger may switch their Pokémon during the match. Asha sent out a Slugma first. "Mag, come out," Ash replied. "Mudkip, I choose you." Mudkip popped onto the field, tail wagging with determination. "Mudkip, water gun," Ash commanded. Mudkip blasted a jet of water at Slugma. "Mag, dodge," Asha cried, but Slugma was slow and got hit. "Are you okay, Mag? Don't give up. Flamethrower," Slugma answered with a gout of orange fire. Ash called, "Mudkip, water pulse." Mudkip formed a glowing ball of water. The water met the fire with a hiss. Steam billowed up. "Now mud slap," Ash ordered. Mudkip gathered mud and slapped Slugma in the face, blurring its vision. "Mudkip, water pulse." Mudkip fired again. "Double team," Asha snapped. Slugma created multiple illusory copies. The water pulse struck a copy, but the rest of the shadows closed in on Mudkip. "You can hit all the shadows you want, but you won't do any real damage," Asha declared confidently. Ash recalled Mudkip with a smile. "Return, Mudkip. Torchic, I choose you." Torchic darted in with a bright cry. "Detect flame charge." It seemed to see through the fakes and struck Slugma with a rapid, fiery dash that sent the Slugma flying. "Mag, so fast! Come on! Mag!" Asha urged. Slugma staggered, and a blue-white glow enveloped it. A hard shell formed on its back. It had evolved into a Mag Cargo. It evolved. "Yes, Mag!" Asha cheered. "Mag Cargo, flamethrower." Torchic nimbly dodged the flamethrower. Mag Cargo, though bulkier after evolving, had become even slower. Torchic kept increasing its speed, pushing itself to break its limits. With a final surge of power, a charged flame charge struck Mag Cargo squarely, and Mag Cargo fell. "Mag Cargo can't battle. Torchic wins," Old Man Mula declared. Asha steeled herself. "All right, go, Mega." Another Slugma slid out. Ash returned Torchic and sent Mudkip back into the fight. "Mudkip, go! Mega Body Slam!" Asha ordered, and the Slugma rushed forward with a surprising lunge. "Mudkip, Rock Smash, counter!" Ash called. The two collided with a thunderous bang. "Mudkip, now, Water Pulse." At such close range, Slugma couldn't dodge. The Water Pulse slammed into it and knocked it away. Mudkip finished the attack with a tackle that sent Slugma tumbling out of the ring, unable to battle. "That's it. Mega is down," Old Man Mula announced. "Mudkip wins this round." To be continued. Chapter 57, Heat Badge, Fire Elite Mula. Slugma can't battle. Mudkip wins. Mula sighed. Asha's battle experience still showed. She'd misjudged things. "Meg, good job. Come back, Mudkip. Your turn, Torkoal." Asha called back Mudkip and sent out her last Pokemon, Torkoal. "Ace, huh?" Ash readied his next Pokeball. "Corphish, I choose you." Corphish clacked its pincers and chattered with excitement. "Battle start. Corphish, use Bubble Beam." Corphish fired a spray of bubbles. Asha answered calmly. "Torkoal, Flamethrower." The 5 fiery red indentations on Torkoal's shell flared. A thick orange jet of flame roared out and overwhelmed the bubble beam with raw power. "Corphish, harden." Corphish braced, stiffening its armor against the heat. "Now, Crabhammer." Corphish lashed out with a pincer glowing white. "Withdraw, Torkoal," Asha snapped. Torkoal slid back into its shell and slammed it shut, blocking the blow. Seeing an opening, Ash called, "Corphish, Sludge Bomb." Torkoal spat toxic sludge that hit Corphish squarely. Ash flinched. He hadn't expected a poison move. Corphish staggered, but was luckily not poisoned. "Good job. Keep going, Corphish. Continuous Shell Blade." Water blades shimmered along Corphish's pincers and struck, but Torkoal's shell held. Ash frowned. It's tough to break Torkoal's defense with Corphish's strength alone. Asha seized the moment. "Torkoal, Flamethrower." Caught off guard, Ash hurried. "Corphish, harden." Corphish flashed with a sheen and was suddenly wreathed in flames. Ash held his breath. Corphish's body glowed. Then, brilliantly, it evolved in the heat of battle. "It evolved! It evolved in battle again!" Xiaozhi shouted. Corphish's body swelled and hardened, a 5-pointed star marking its forehead, no longer the cute little crab it had been. It had become the fierce Crawdaunt. "Crawdaunt, Swords Dance, then Crabhammer." Crawdaunt's Swords Dance shredded the trailing flames and boosted its attack. Its massive pincer slammed into Torkoal, flipping the shell and sending it spinning. Dazed, Torkoal couldn't recover before Crawdaunt fired a final hydro pump. "Torkoal!" The torrent finished it. Torkoal collapsed, unable to battle. "Crawdaunt wins. The winner is Ash of Pallet Town," Old Man Mula announced. "Crawdaunt, you were awesome. Come back and rest," Ash called, and retrieved his Pokemon. Mula stepped forward and smiled at Asha. "You fought well. Ash is strong. My mind's at ease now about sending them off on their journey." Asha beamed when her grandfather praised her. Then she walked over to Ash and held out the heat badge. Ash, thank you for a great battle. I'd like you to have this heat badge. Ash took the badge with a grin. Great, I got the heat badge. Pikachu and Eevee chirped their approvals. Ding, obtained the heat badge. Reward, 1,000 points. After a moment, Ash turned to Old Man Mula. Grandfather Mula, weren't you the fire elite of Hoenn? I'd like to battle you. Is that so? Very well, Mula replied readily. Xiaozhi and the others were stunned. They hadn't expected Lavarage Gym to hide such a secret. Asha agreed to be referee, and they limited the match to 1 Pokemon apiece. Go, Typhlosion! Mula's Typhlosion erupted forth, radiating a muted but unmistakable elite aura, its strength clearly seasoned by age. Ash sent out Pikachu. I choose you, Pikachu. Pikachu's eyes flashed with battle spirit as it faced the Typhlosion. Typhlosion, Fire Blast. Mula's command was sharp. He wasn't holding back. Pikachu, Electroweb, dodge and close in. Pikachu blurred like lightning, nimbly avoiding the towering pillar of fire and knocking Typhlosion off balance. Mula's gaze sharpened. Pikachu's speed was extraordinary. Surf, Ash ordered. A great wall of water rose beneath Pikachu, slamming into Typhlosion and sending it flying. Everyone gasped. Pikachu knew Surf. Impressive. Mula frowned and studied Pikachu. Interesting. Typhlosion Earthquake. Ash only smiled faintly, and Mula's brows lifted in surprise. Moments later, Ash called, Pikachu, fly! Pikachu shot into the sky, leaving Earthquake harmlessly behind. Shock spread through the audience. If Surf was surprising, Fly was unbelievable. No one would have believed it until they saw it. Pikachu, Surf! Pikachu rode the wave back down toward Typhlosion. Typhlosion, overheat. Explosions of fire and electricity filled the arena as each Pokemon poured everything into one more attack. When the smoke cleared, both Pikachu and Typhlosion lay panting and collapsed. Neither could continue. It's a draw. Both Pokemon are unable to battle. Asha steadied herself and announced it. Mula laughed, shaking his head. The younger generation is formidable. I'm getting old. The world is yours now. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a worn notebook, pressing it into Ash's hands. This is my notebook on training Typhlosion. Don't refuse it. Ash protested at first, but Mula insisted sternly until Ash bowed and accepted it with respect. An elite's training notes, priceless for Ash's Quilava. Ding, first time defeating an elite. Reward, Emerald Orb. Ash's eyes widened at the notification. The system's response promised something big. You did amazing, defeating an elite. Xiao Yao and Xiaozhi praised him, admiration plain on their faces. When Ash had battled Steven before, he'd shown great potential. Now he'd truly fought at elite level, even if it had been a one-for-one exchange. With warm farewells, Xiaozhi's group thanked Asha and Mula and left the Lavarage Gym, hearts high with excitement for the journey ahead. To be continued. Chapter 58, Xiaogang and the Heartbroken Spinda's Unbreakable Bond. Back at the Pokemon Center in Lavarage Town, Ash first left his Pokemon with Nurse Joy for treatment, then made a quick exchange with Professor Oak. After the swap, his party stood as Pikachu, Eevee, Quilava, Ralts, Mudkip, Electrike, Beautifly, and Jigglypuff. Beautifly was still a bit underleveled, so Jigglypuff would naturally take part in the next gorgeous contest. Quilava, meanwhile, would keep training with the notes he'd just received from Elite Mula. They regrouped in the lobby to meet Xiaogang and the others and discuss their route. From here, the nearest gym is Fortree City, Xiaogang analyzed. But we'd have to cross a huge desert. How about we go back to Moville City first, then head to Petalburg? The plan was agreed on. Ash, who'd split a win and a loss in his previous practice against Senri, was determined to beat him this time and earn the balance badge. Xiao Yao and Xiaozhi, having been away from home for so long, were excited to finally be able to visit. Who'll win the final match between Ash and Dad? Xiaozhi wondered. Before their travels, he'd have picked Senri without hesitation, but after seeing Ash defeat former elites and even champions, he wasn't so sure anymore. With the itinerary set, the group packed up and left for Mauville City. They left Lavarage Town, walked into a forest, and soon began climbing a large mountain. Suddenly, they were stopped by a Spinda blocking the path. Xiao Yao took out her Pokédex and scanned it. Spinda, the spot panda Pokemon. Each one has a unique spot pattern. Its wobbly movements are used to confuse foes. A whole group of Spinda dotted the trail. It's true, Each one's different, Xiaosheng observed. So many Spinda live on this mountain, Xiaogang exclaimed. Xiao Yao's eyes lit up. Look, there's one with a heart-shaped spot on its forehead. It's so cute. The heart-marked Spinda stood out among the others and was impossible not to adore. As everyone watched, a gorgeously dressed young woman approached, followed by a butler. There you are. I've been searching for you everywhere, she called. When the heart-marked Spinda saw her, it darted away in a blur. The Spinda that brings happiness, the woman said helplessly. The group stepped forward to hear her story. Her name was Miss Ai Li, and the butler was Roids. It turned out the heart-marked Spinda had been entrusted to her by a friend. While it had brought Miss Ai Li countless happy moments, she was supposed to return it today, but it had escaped. Xiao Gang's romantic hopes flared up at once. No problem. Leave it to me. I'll definitely find that happiness-bringing Spinda, he declared. Ash shook his head with a small smile. Anyone could see the way Miss Ai Li spoke about her friend. Xiao Gang didn't stand a chance, but they all helped search anyway. The mountain was full of Spinda. They found several, but none with the perfect heart. I found one, Xiao Gang shouted. Everyone turned to see a Spinda showing part of an arc on its forehead that, from the side, looked heart-shaped. Convinced his luck had turned, Xiao Gang rushed forward, scooped it up, and began daydreaming about a happy life with Miss Ai Li. Caught it! Xiao Yao and Xiaosheng cheered. Ash frowned. This Spinda didn't look right. When the little Pokemon lifted its head, the others saw why. Its mark wasn't a heart at all, but a broken heart. Xiao Gang froze, stunned, and released the Spinda as it wobbled away. Super unlucky, he muttered, while everyone else sighed. Meanwhile, Miss Ai Li had at last spotted the real heart-shaped Spinda. It bounded straight to her, and to a handsome man who had just arrived. The two were clearly close. An atmosphere of tender affection surrounded them. Roids explained that the man was Satoshi, an adventurer and Miss Ai Li's fiancé. Fiancé, Xiao Gang's face fell. As if sensing his mood, the broken heart Spinda came up and hugged him cheerfully. Xiao Gang forced a smile and tried his usual self-hypnosis routine to patch up his heartbreak. He straightened up with renewed determination, only to fumble and drop an empty Pokeball. The broken heart Spinda paused, looked at the ball, then at Xiao Gang, and pressed the button with a wobble. Wait, no, Xiao Gang cried, but it was too late. The Pokeball clicked shut and emitted the single satisfying thump of a successful capture. No, unlucky spots. Xiao Gang collapsed to his knees, clutching his head and shouting to the sky. After Miss Ai Li and Satoshi departed, the group resumed their journey toward Mauville City. Xiao Gang still sat staring at the Pokeball. Don't be down, Ash told him gently. If it chose to follow you, that means your compatibility is high. Look at Psyduck. Xiao Xiao was a handful at first, but became a real treasure. Pikachu chimed agreement with a nod. With Ash's encouragement, Xiao Gang put the Spinda's Pokeball away with a conflicted expression. He'd caught it. He had to be responsible. Once we get out of this forest, you'll see the streets of Mauville, Xiao Gang said, trying to sound confident. But when they emerged from the trees, it wasn't Mauville at all, but a gravel-filled valley. Taking shortcuts had backfired. They were lost and had probably wasted more time than the main road would have taken. Xiao Yao and Xiaosheng glanced at Xiao Gang. Why can't we see any sign of the city? Xiaosheng asked. Xiao Gang scratched his head. Maybe I took the wrong road again. I can't believe you insisted on a shortcut, Xiao Yao complained, flopping down on the ground. If I'd known, I would have insisted on the normal route. As they argued, a few figures in the distance caught Ash and the others' attention. To be continued. Chapter 59, Torkoal and the Valley of Steel. Ash and the others saw a Skarmory circling overhead, and below it, 3 Magnemite were using blue thunderwave currents to suspend a Torkoal in midair. The Torkoal writhed in discomfort, spewing flames that failed to hit anything, and each time it flailed, the Skarmory answered with Swift, wounding it repeatedly. Suddenly, the Magnemite cut off the thunderwave, and the Torkoal began to fall from a great height. Oh no! Ash shouted and dashed forward. As he entered the valley, the Magnemite sent a crackling yellow current straight for him. Ash, it's dangerous, cried Xiao Gang and the others. Ash, I choose you, Electrike, he called. The current struck Electrike, but the electric Pokemon's lightning rod ability absorbed it completely. Ash seized the chance and threw a Pokeball, catching the Torkoal. All right, let's finish this. Pikachu Electrike, Thunderbolt, Eevee, Shadow Ball, Ash ordered. Pika, Chew, Woof, Eevee. Pikachu and Electrike's combined Thunderbolt overwhelmed the Magnemite, while Eevee's Shadow Ball struck the Skarmory and knocked it out of the fight. Xiaogang and the others hurried over. Are you okay, Torkoal? Ash asked, carefully setting the recovered Pokemon down and recalling Electrike. The Torkoal's eyes filled with tears and thick, black smoke poured from its nostrils, instantly blackening Ash and his friends' faces. Cough, cough! They began to cough. A distant roar echoed from the depths of the valley. Before anyone could react, the Torkoal bolted toward the sound. So fast, Ash said, eyes lighting up. He motioned for the others to follow and gave chase. Using his aura to stay on the Torkoal's trail, Ash led the group deeper into the valley. They came upon the Torkoal again, now embroiled with the three Magnemite, while the Skarmory circled above, ready to pounce. Ash leapt down and tossed out two Pokeballs. Electrike, quick attack, Quilava Lava Plume. Electrike darted in with a blur, disrupting the Skarmory, and Quilava's area of effect Lava Plume handled the Magnemite. The Torkoal seized the opening and finished the Skarmory with a powerful flamethrower. Xiao Yao and Xiao Sheng cheered. Why are there so many Magnemite and Skarmory here? Xiao Yao asked, puzzled. Xiaogang thought for a moment. If I'm not mistaken, we've accidentally entered Steel Valley. Oh, right, Xiao Sheng remembered. Nurse Joy warned us never to go near that place before we entered the forest. She said the Steel-type Pokemon there are very territorial. It would be dangerous if we stumbled into it. Xiaogang nodded. This Torkoal probably wandered in by accident and got attacked. The Torkoal nodded in agreement. What should we do? Turn back and find a safer route? Xiao Sheng asked. We're already here. Ash replied. We have to go through. Pika, Eevee, woof, the Pokemon answered. Torkoal, come with us through the valley, Ash invited. With you by our side, we can make it. The Torkoal's eyes filled with tears again, and it let out a thick plume of smoke, but this time Ash braced himself with his aura and wasn't blackened. The group agreed and prepared to press on through Steel Valley. The ground began to tremble. A huge Steelix emerged from the earth and reared above them, a massive ruler of the valley. Steelix, Gym Leader early stage. The Torkoal glared at the Steelix, ready to fight. Torkoal, do you want to listen to my command and take this Steelix down together? Ash asked. The Torkoal nodded solemnly. Ability, Drought. When it enters battle, the weather becomes sunny. Moves, Flamethrower, Overheat, Lava Plume. Withdraw, Dynamax-type Fire. Steelix unleashed a green Dragon Pulse. Torkoal, withdraw, Ash called. The Torkoal pulled into its shell, and the Dragon Pulse glanced off, causing no damage. Ash smiled a little. Finally, that shell wouldn't be a problem. Torkoal, Flamethrower. A towering column of fire struck Steelix full on. Steelix answered with Iron Tail, slamming into Torkoal. The Steelix then used Dig, burrowing underground. Torkoal, get ready. Overheat. Finish it the moment Steelix resurfaces, Ash instructed. Using his aura to sense Steelix's position beneath the earth, Ash directed the Torkoal. Jump up, overheat, and charge down. Torkoal leapt high to avoid an underground strike, then unleashed its full power, an intense white-hot overheat that hammered Steelix as it surfaced. The Steelix roared and twisted under the searing blaze, then collapsed, fainted, and unable to battle. The Torkoal erupted with relief, sending out a spray of lava plume. Ash stepped forward, Pokeball in hand. Torkoal, would you like to travel with me? He asked gently. The Torkoal nodded, tears welling again. A thick rush of black smoke burst from its nostrils, and the sudden gust shoved Ash to the ground. Torkoal's head bumped the Pokeball with a thunk, and the capture succeeded. That Torkoal's easy to move, Xiao Sheng remarked, grinning. I caught Torkoal. Ash cheered, holding the Pokeball up. Pikachu and Eevee joined in the celebration. The Pokeball shrank and was remotely sent to Professor Oak's laboratory. Wow, so that's another way to capture a Pokemon, Xiao Yao said, eyes wide. It was the first time she had seen that kind of capture. With the Steelix defeated, the Magnemite and Skarmory withdrew, implicitly acknowledging the group's passage through Steel Valley. Ash and the others pushed on, found the correct path, and soon saw Mauville City come into view. Ash and the others, still bound for Petalburg City, returned to Mauville City after a few days. To be continued. Chapter 60, Team Rocket returns, Manectric. Great, we're finally out. We've arrived in Mauville City. Xiaoyao cheered as they entered the city. Look over there, Xiaosheng pointed excitedly. A carnival was underway in the town square, so Ash and the others wandered over. Two people in mascot costumes approached, calling out, "Welcome, welcome! Have fun, everyone!" The grand prize is a luxurious doll, they announced, holding it up. Wow, so cute, Xiaoyao cooed, staring at the Torchic on display. Ash's mouth twitched as he watched the mascots. It's been a while. Team Rocket! Team Rocket, the crowd echoed. You never believe me when I say you can't fool Satoshi, but we had to try. Meowth swaggered out and stood before Ash and his friends. Musashi and Kojiro peeled off their disguises. Long time no see, Satoshi, little girl. Since it's you, meow, Meowth added, and the trio bowed theatrically. Xiaogang froze a moment, then clenched his fist, slapping the palm of his other hand. I kept wondering what was missing recently, so it was Team Rocket. Xiaoyao and Xiaosheng nodded. Traveling had been noticeably quieter without them around. Times have changed. Let us show off the results of Team Rocket's rigorous training. Go, Seviper and Dustox. Wobbuffet and Cacnea, too. Musashi called. That's right, go Cacnea, Kojiro added, rubbed by one of Cacnea's spikes in the excitement. Seviper, Superior Peak. Dustox, Late Superior, Superior Peak. Wobbuffet, Late Gym Stage. All right, let's do this, Ash replied. Go, Electric and Quilava. Xiaoyao sent out Beautifly. Fortress, you're up, Xiaosheng added. The 8 Pokemon faced off. Seviper, Sludge Bomb, Dustox, Venoshock, Wobbuffet, Get Ready, Payback, Cacnea, Solar Beam. The Team Rocket trio had definitely improved. Each of their Pokemon was stronger and had learned powerful moves. Fortress raised a silver-white metal wall with iron defense. The steel type easily shrugged off the poison attacks. On the other side, 3 moves converged into one, a towering column of fire wrapped in blue electricity and silver wind. Wobbuffet, Meowth cried, and true to form, it stood firm and reflected the attack back. Good job, Wobbuffet, the trio praised. As expected of our ace, Eevee, Protect, Pikachu, Electrike, Thunderbolt, Quilava, Flamethrower, Fortress, Protect, Beautifly, Hurricane. Ash barked orders. Under Eevee's and Fortress's protection, their side blocked the counterattack. With Pikachu and Electrike delivering a strong electric punch, the Team Rocket Pokemon were sent flying. This is infuriating, Meowth groused as they were blown back. We were beaten by 6 Pokemon this time. Musashi pouted. We only had 4. We'll definitely win next time after more preparation. Kojiro nodded in agreement. Xiaogang laughed. What a relief. I didn't expect them to be so much stronger. Xiaoyao added, if Team Rocket reformed as trainers, they might be really talented. Ash and Xiaogang both shook their heads. With their loyalty to Giovanni, you never knew what they'd do. Xiaoyao smiled to herself. If even Musashi had improved, she'd have to train harder too. Later, at the Mauville Pokemon Center, Ash and his friends met gym leader Tessin. At Tessin's invitation, Ash agreed to a practice match with him, and Xiaoyao planned to spar with another local trainer, Watari. They returned to the Mauville gym and found that the battle arena had been completely renovated. Xiaoyao shivered at the flashy mechanisms, remembering old thrills. From the side door, everyone entered the arena. First up was Watari's Ampharos versus Xiaoyao's Skitty. Surprisingly, Xiaoyao won. Skitty's assist caused an unpredictable effect that turned the battle, letting Skitty overcome Ampharos and boost to normal peak. The win showed just how in sync Xiaoyao and Skitty were. Without that trust, turning the match around would have been impossible. Next came Ash's match against Tessin. Ha ha ha, Ash! Go Jolteon! Tessin laughed. It's Jolteon, Xiaosheng said excitedly. Xiaoyao pulled out her Pokédex and scanned the Pokemon. Jolteon, Superior Peak. Haha, this is the Eevee I found near the power plant not long after you left. It evolved into Jolteon recently. Tessin grinned. All right, Electrike, you're up? Electrike stepped into the ring, on the verge of evolution, and this bout could be the final push it needed. Both Jolteon and Electrike had the Lightning Rod ability, so the fight quickly became a battle of non-electric moves. Jolteon, dig, Tessin ordered. Quick attack, dodge, Ash countered. Electrike slipped aside as Jolteon lunged from below. That reaction is fast. Jolteon swift. Electrike, quick attack then Fire Fang, Ash called. Electrike withstood swift and leapt in to bite with a flaming fang. Electrike, crunch! Ash shouted as Electrike charged dark energy into its jaws. Jolteon, double edge! Jolteon struck with a massive tackle, but Electrike's crunch caused Jolteon to flinch. Jolteon's attack faltered, leaving it open. Electrike finished it with crunch. Jolteon is unable to battle. Electrike wins, the announcer declared. Winner, Ash! Electrike's body erupted in blue and white light. It grew larger. Yellow mane flared. Manectric had appeared. Manectric's strength, superior peak moves, hyper beam, electric terrain, snarl, thunder. Congratulations, Ash, Tessin said, offering his hand. Ash shook it with a grateful smile. On the sidelines, Watari mentioned, I heard you're entering the gorgeous contest. The Pokemon contest is coming up soon in Verdanturf Town. Really? Xiao Yao brightened. Xiao Sheng pulled up their navigator and checked the route. We can get to Petalburg City from Verdanturf. Okay, let's go to Verdanturf first for the contest, then head to Petalburg to challenge the gym, Ash decided. Xiao Yao raised her hand enthusiastically in agreement. They said goodbye to Tesson and Watari, rested at the Pokemon Center for the night, and planned to set out early the next morning. Ash sent Manectric back to its Pokeball and brought out Torkoal to travel with them. To be continued.